And we are live. Hopefully.
Are we?
Let me check. I don't know.
Are we on the right channel?
We are on the right channel.
Okay.
We did it! Yay!
Well, I had to look around Eevee to click the unmute button in Discord. So I didn't know if I had clicked it on the right way. Because now she's deciding that it's time to sleep in front of my keyboard.
But we can't see the ears. We need proof.
Yep. Nope. She's laying down right now. Give it time, she'll pop up. She always does. Oh, Eevee. Oh, so how are all of you? What's up on the keyboard?
Pretty good.
Well, I had to get myself a pocket dragon.
What color did you get?
Oh,
I did a
okay.
mystery dragon, so I don't know until it arrives. It's gonna come in a cute little egg. It's one of those dragon fidget things that are 3D printed. It's a pocket dragon.
I saw
fidget
them.
Dragon.
Yeah, I saw them linked in the Discord.
Yeah, I probably put them in there in my attempt to stop myself from buying one. It only worked for 24 hours.
I was gonna say that doesn't work.
Yeah,
You
put
put
it
it
on our channel, and your people are going to discourage you from doing anything.
It's just gonna be peer pressure at that point in time.
Yeah, the question actually is, so what color are you getting?
Right? So I'm getting two. I got them from two different sites so I can compare the two. Because one had a really pretty dragon egg. And the one I really liked the dragons that came out of it. So, I had to do two different ones.
I wonder if we could 3D print one of those.
Gilly, this is what it looks like.
Ooh.
The ashes and the blood orange. That's what it looks like once it's all shaken up.
That is fun.
Most of those come out better on resin printers instead of filament printers.
Oh, okay.
So what you're saying is HB Fox can make them.
Yes. That's what I heard.
I can do that.
But we are back for another episode of Tricorn Isles. Probably not the happiest time to be on this ship, as currently you are all quasi shipwrecked in the bay. You know what? I just realized something. I am on the wrong game screen on Roll20. I looked over. I'm like, why am I on ODAG?
Oh. Yeah.
No, I need the Isles.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that did that.
I have two. I should take a screenshot of all the games and everything that I have on Roll20 and how I'm surprised I don't mess it up as much as I do. But no, you are currently quasi shipwrecked in the Bay of Tidelight after a small sabotage job from a hag sort of put you high and dry within the city limits of Tidelight, thus enacting the demon's contract that the next time you set foot in Tidelight, you must carry out the execution of a certain individual before you will be able to leave again. Unfortunately, the captain and first mate tonight are unable to make it. So once again, the rest of the senior staff here have control of what happens. We were talking before we started, and it could be profitable. The last time the captain and first mate were gone, y'all got a fort. So it most definitely could be profitable. At the same time, it could be disastrous, depending on the decisions that are made.
And the dice that are rolled.
And the dice that, yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, if Monday night was a sort of hint as to what happens when you roll poorly.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Everybody's got it out of their system now.
Look, it's over with. The dice have had their blood sacrificed. They'll be good now, right?
I've been trying to get it out of my system for almost 10 years now. When's it gonna change?
Tonight is the night.
Just a few more sacrifices will be good. Just gotta get a few more sacrifices.
I think you Fox had an entire character built on sacrificing people, and that didn't go well.
I've had more than one.
But did
built
that
on
character die?
sacrificing People.
No, one of them became a god.
Yeah. See, that's how it works.
So-
You gotta sacrifice other people.
Oh, you know what? I
That
completely forgot to put the Sirenscape on the right channel. Give me a second.
Oops.
that had nothing to do with dice rolls. That had to do with years of patient planning.
There we go. I was wondering why was that was coming through low. All right, we're good though. But as we pick up today, the ship has come to a halt after the call to drop the anchor was made. Unfortunately, in doing so, the ship has sustained quite a bit of damage, including the loss of a very important piece of the ship, the rudder, making the ship at this point in time completely inoperable. Though thankfully everything now seems to be calm. The stragglers of the crew that were under the sleep spell have finally started to come to, and a vast majority of those who are awake are already topside, doing what they can to ensure that the ship can maintain at least being straight up and not tilt over. As you are kind of standing on the deck of the ship, a bit dumbfounded at just what just happened, a certain well-dressed individual walks by the four of you, sort of patting Shara on the shoulder as he walks out in front just to address the four of you. This being that well-dressed individual that you had met in the what you were told was a mimic cave, but technically wasn't. Well, didn't think you would be back here so soon. What a good turn of fortune for me.
Yeah, we didn't think we'd be here either.
Funny how that seems to have worked. You wouldn't know any.
Well,
You know, you wouldn't have had a hand in this, so to say.
I laid neither finger nor claw nor tail on this ship.
Doesn't mean you didn't have a hand in it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, there's mage hand.
Oh, Mage Hand
You can
couldn't.
do things. You
Mage
can do
Hand
things
couldn't
through
do
other
sh-
people.
That
know.
I can do, and that I did
Exactly.
do. That I did
Well,
do. It cost
That was
me.
part of your contract, was it?
It doesn't need
In
to
fact,
be.
you know, speaking of which,
Oh, you
we're a
mortals
little
in
fuzzy
your
about
contract knowledge. It's not you. It's that dilapidated landfill cannonball.
no, but Shara made a very good point. None of us here that you're talking to actually heard any of this.
You don't need to. Your superior signed you away. That's good enough.
Okay, well, why don't you talk to them then?
Well, I would, but they are otherwise indisposed of at the moment.
Pity
But
that.
seeing as how you're speaking to me in this tone, I assume you know what the deal is.
I know what the captain told us.
Yeah, I'm a little fuzzy on all of this. Are you the guy that the captain made a deal with?
I am the guy.
He's the guy we're
yes.
supposed to kill. I'm not sure.
No, I am not the one who you are supposed to kill. I am the one who pointed you in the direction of who is supposed to be killed.
But how do we know that? And that you're not just someone else trying to trick us?
That is a very fair question. As he kind of like waves his hand and brings up just like a small parcel of paper and unfurls it and lets lets you see that it's all written in Infernal, but it's got all of your names down at the bottom. I hold the contract.
Yeah, I can't read this, so I don't know what it says, so that proves nothing to me.
Oh, my apologies. I forgot you don't speak, you know, our language. He snaps his fingers and like every line of text begins to be translated. Now, if you tell me you can't read, my apologies, but it doesn't keep you from executing what needs to be done. Or you can wait for the captain and the first mate to return and one of them can do it. I really don't care who does it as long as it gets done. Though I am only here to give a fair warning to any of you. If anyone attempts to leave Tidelight before your contract is fulfilled, I will remove the protection that I have on the captain right now. And I will point the certain individual that is hunting for her in her direction. Her and I have a special arrangement. I keep her hidden. She does this one job for me. That's it.
You do realize that this individual that you would like to see off is a kind of a relative of mine.
Oh, so you have a way to get close to him. I mean, I think that's an opportunity.
I think it's called patricide. Or grand patricide or something.
Whatever side it is, it needs to happen.
So hold on a second.
And we're doing this to save the captain's butt.
Yeah, that's what I was about to get to. The captain made this deal for her own personal reasons. Is that what I'm hearing?
It was an addendum to our contract. She had issue that I was going to be giving you names from time to time that need to be eliminated. So we did a bit of dealing and we came to an agreement that it was this one name that I needed taken care of, and then that would free all of you from the contract. And to sweeten the deal, I would keep my protective cloud over her as to allow her to evade someone who would quite literally love to feast on her.
Wait, so we were under contract to kill like a bunch of people. And then
yes.
She came into the picture and was like, no, make it just one person, also keep me protected.
Oh, and let's make it Pearl's grandfather.
Well,
he was top of the he was the to be fair, he was top of the list anyway. That was the first name I was going to give you.
Who put us under contract to kill a bunch of people?
How
did that come about?
You remember?
This is the first I'm hearing of all of this.
This is true. You left that cave before hearing any of this, but your captain sort of made a contract with me, finding all of you under it. I was planning on using all of you as my debt collectors.
Muir, you're being too quiet. What say you to all of this? Where is that bunny?
You're out of his head. He's not quite awake yet.
No.
He's still coming out of it.
I mean, I don't recall signing anything.
None of you technically signed it per se. Your captain signed it for you. And as the captain holds the lives of all of her crew members under her responsibility, she thus signed you up.
So we are trading Pearl's grandfather's life for our captain's.
And yours.
Are we technically under the captain's jurisdiction when we're off the ship?
Yes, you are.
I call that
you are a member.
off-duty.
You are.
Don't you, Shara?
You are members of the crew, and off duty or not, you still have a contract to fulfill. This is an official sense. You yourself know that you can't go, shirking your duties just because you are off duty. You have loyalty to the captain. And your captain has loyalty to me. So in a case, I'm technically a higher ranking officer. Though I'm not giving you a time frame. Do it whenever you want, but just know that you cannot leave Tidelight. And I'll do you one better. You complete this within the week, and I'll make sure this ship gets the royal treatment. You've got a bit of damage, and it looks like it's going to have to be in dry dock. It's going to cost a pretty penny. I'll cover the charges.
I don't want any favors from you.
Oh, it's not a favor. Not a favor at all.
Sounds like a favor to me.
No, consider it a bonus for executing the contract in a speedy manner.
Why is Girl's grandfather at the top of the list? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
How did the ship end up barreling towards Tidelight in the first place?
You ran into a hag who decided to do a bit of a sabotage job to it. Took out the rudder.
Who does the hag work for?
The hag works for herself, to be fair. They really are rather self-employed go-getters.
I may have an interest in us.
I may have sweetened the deal a little bit and
so it's
paid
your
her.
fault to begin with, so you're paying for damage that you caused.
Yes.
Well said, Muir.
But that's only if you decide to take care of it within a week. Otherwise, you're on your own and your treasure stores are going to be hurt.
So, you're putting a timeline on this?
Oh, no, no time.
Do you know that Redding Goldspar is in Tidelight right now?
Oh,
and that he's not traveling on business?
I know for a fact Redding Goldspar is here because Redding Goldspar cannot leave Tidelight. He is anchored here.
As part
and when did that happen?
Oh, and he pulls out a pocket watch. About last week, when I decided it was time to claim what was mine.
And why is he so high up on your list?
I made Redding Goldspar the man he is today. All of his success, all of his business, all of his wealth, his influence are because of me. We were business partners for a very, very long time. And then I asked him for one simple task, and he decided to instead stab me in the back. And so?
Figuratively, I assume, since he's a gnome and you seem to be somewhat taller.
True, it would have been stabbed me in the back of the knee, but yes, it's figuratively. Just betrayed me. And anybody with any business sense knows that it's never a good idea to betray your partners. Especially if your partners have influence.
You know, I kind of am listening to your side of the story, but I'm finding it really hard to believe. My grandfather is a fabulous craftsperson.
Oh.
A peerless designer. And works, or had worked and traded extensively with other gnomes. I fail to see how any of that was impacted by you.
How do you think he got his talents?
Because he's a gnome. He comes from a long line of esteemed craftsmen. You're telling me all of a sudden that gnomes aren't craftspeople?
No, your grandfather was the exception before I got involved. He was 2 left hands and all thumbs. The boy couldn't craft a single chain link without messing up. I corrected that. I gave him the talent and the inspiration that he needed. And later on, when he decided to further his empire and go into business, I backed that as well. He was a inspiration. And for quite some time a very lucrative business partner. I may have even at a time considered him a friend.
So do you have your filthy claws in my stepbrother too, then?
No, I haven't needed to influence anyone else in the family line just yet. Your grandfather was the head of the family and the one that was running business. But maybe I'll pay a visit to your stepbrother after your grandfather's taken care of.
Or maybe you won't.
Well, that's up to him.
No, it isn't up to him.
Oh?
You want us to do your dirty work. You don't think that I'm going to stand by idly. Short as I am in everything else, and as uninfluential as I am in everything else, and I don't really care for my stepbrother, but you are not going to have a hand near him.
Well, I believe that is up for him to decide, though.
No,
I can take your rage under consideration.
You're missing the point. You're asking us to do something horrific here.
Horrific?
And then you're going to just go on to the next member of my family. I don't think so.
It's a business opportunity, not one that he has to take. If he says no, fine and dandy. I will move on to other prospective talents. I believe you mortals have the wrong idea of us. We are not giant liars and things scheming from the shadows. Yes, we may bend the truth here and there, as all beings do. But we are a people tied to a code of ethics, laws. We are not demons. A contract is a contract. And once a contract is voided, the damaged party can collect.
Just out of curiosity, what was this job that you asked him to do that he refused? Or stabbed you in the back with?
A simple transport job. I had asked him to move some cargo for me to a certain location, and instead he decided to scuttle it. Decided that it was too important to allow it to fall into my hands.
What was it?
That's between him and me. Until our contract is taken care of, I cannot disclose too much of the business I dealt with them. Also, I'm still trying to search for it, and well, I don't want anyone else going after it. You understand. Treasure hunters and all.
I mean, a treasure hunter might have already stumbled upon it. You never know.
I would know. Thankfully, they haven't. I would fear for anybody who would come across that sort of cargo.
Funny how you know that and you can't find it.
Oh, trust me, if they found it, everyone would know. It's not something you want mortal hands on.
What would happen if mortal hands got hold of it?
You remember Echo Bay? Well, of course you do. You were there. Something like in that destructive nature, but that would be traveling around with whomever decided or whomever was unfortunate enough to find it. Let's just say it's best that it remains either lost or I somehow come across it later on in the future.
So, in a way, my grandfather was doing a good thing when he scuttled it, from my perspective.
If you knew what it was, you wouldn't say that. In his eyes, he was afraid. He was afraid of what it was and what it could bring to this world. I needed him to transport it to a certain area so I can remove it from this plane. But he didn't like the destination that was set for it.
What destination was that?
Why you have so many questions?
Just curious.
Well, I will
Perhaps
give
Oh, it's
you.
this
I
much.
didn't have quite enough questions.
I will give you more information on the cargo and everything once me and Mr. Goldspar's contract is completely voided. Once
And
he's
like
been
we're gonna
collected.
trust you to give us that.
I give you my word,
Yeah.
and my word is my bond. I will discuss with you in full detail what this cargo is and where it was headed. And then if you want to decide to bring ruin to the Tricorn, well,
I think we've already kind of done that.
I mean, I guess I'm more curious just to make sure I avoid it.
You're not from this plane originally. What? How does
Aren't
all
you talking?
this
Because we can't hear him.
sound to you?
This sounds on par with a Fey deal.
Now we can't hear
Oh, you,
the devil.
you're muted. Roger.
no, I'm not muted. Evie's laying
Yeah.
on my mixer
Again.
again. And that's something I respect the Fae for. They follow the rules and they honor the word of a contract. The rest of you
Never
can.
said that was a good thing.
Oh, it's always a good thing. We need rules. We need structure. There's
We're
too
just
much
trying
chaos.
to understand what's happening here, since we've been roped into this.
Oh, it's very easy. I just need one of you, or your captain, or your first mate, to pierce the heart of Redding Goldspar, and that will be that.
What happens to Mr. Goldspar when we do?
Well, he dies. I mean, that's usually what happens when you stab somebody in the heart. But
And what happens to his soul, which
Oh,
seems
that-
to be the commodity that you
that
like to
I
deal with.
collect, as is my right for being the offended party in this matter.
You're saying we're not only killing him, but we're also dooming him.
Oh, he was doomed the moment he broke that contract. I just needed
Did
to...
he know that?
Oh, full well. Full well. Unlike your captain who signed the contract to begin with, your grandfather had legal counsel look over our contract before he signed it. I guess his old age had finally creeped in, mixed with that ego of his, and he thought that he can do one over on me. Whatever his reasoning, I don't really care. He broke the contract. He knows what happens.
So, I have a question.
Oh, I'm sure you do. You seem to have many.
Yeah, this is just sort of a hypothetical thing. I really, although apparently my grandfather was quite well acquainted with you, never really met you before.
Well, of course
And
not. I don't
would-
make myself known to family members. Hi, I'm
Okay,
I'm your grandfather, your son's whatever demonic or devil influence. I mean, that doesn't really go well when you're trying to run a business.
So, to make things easier for us, so to speak, can you bring my grandfather onto the ship?
No, I cannot. If it was just so easy for me to bring him onto the ship, I would have killed him myself. But I need a mortal hand to do that.
I see.
Why is that?
As I am the offended party, I cannot claim recompense if I am the one to strike him down.
I didn't say strike him down. I just said bring him over here for a visit.
Oh no, see, I can't do anything of that sort. I'm able to bind him to tide lights, make sure that he can't scurry off into, the corners of the Tricorn or whatever. But I cannot move him. I cannot kill him. I cannot influence him. That's up to you.
And you see, Pearl is like making notes as this conversation is going on.
And just to be clear, we don't do this and then we end up on your list?
No.
How it works?
You just cannot leave Tidelight until it's done.
Looks like a nice place to call home. I lived here for
True.
quite a long time before I left for the sea.
Once your lives run out, then I could collect your souls for not technically completing your side of your contract with me. I mean, you could live here as much as you want.
Which
It is a
never
nice city.
Signed.
Your captain signed. That's all I needed.
So if she wasn't our captain anymore, then what?
The contract is still in play.
It's for the entire crew, I assume.
The entire crew, yes. All of them, and he kind of like points around to the crew that's on the deck. They're all bound. So, you're the big players here. You're the senior staff.
Oh, I'm not.
That's fine. They're the senior staff. They haven't given you a title yet? That's just rude. That's just rude.
Titles are very overrated.
Although I think after this we might need to reconsider who we call captain. Don't really fancy people who make deals in my name.
Especially when it's just for their own benefit.
To be fair, that's a very captain thing to do.
Oh, I don't
It's
care.
a very pirate thing to do.
I
You
think
should have at least consulted us first.
I think she is a pirate, isn't she? She's got
But
the
we're not.
she's got a very pirate look to her. You may not be, but she may be
Looks
former.
to be deceiving.
And true. Looks can be very deceiving. Any case, she signed for you. If she wasn't your captain, I would assume that means you would mutiny against her and kill her. The contract would then just go on to whomever is the next captain.
Where is she, by the way? Why isn't she a part of this conversation?
Her and Cannonball are having a word.
Are they sure they're just having a word? They did this before and they were gone an awful while.
Now, the last time they had a word, it didn't go well for us, did it?
Those
went well for us, didn't go well for them.
those
Well,
two
no, but-
have a lot of words.
We sure they're just words?
Oh, very much so. They are very, very complicated people. Bill more than Jenka. If you want my opinion, if there's anybody you want to be afraid of making deals or bringing bad luck to the crew, it's the one you call Cannonball. That boy is... Yeesh.
Yeah, every time the two of them get into it, I'm always expecting, only one of them to come out of it alive.
Just remember,
Ooh.
Shara.
No.
Cannonball's the one who wanted to burn our brand new navigation.
He wants to burn a lot of things. I think he might just be like a closet pyro. Like he wanted to burn all that hag stuff that we came across.
Which
Burn our navigation equipment. He's
He's
talked
not
about
burning that
burning towns a
navigation.
couple times.
he's not going to burn that navigation equipment. I'm quite fond of that.
It's real handy.
Pretty. Gritty. But we digress. What did you say your name was again?
Oh, I didn't give my name. He opens the pocket watch. Your captain has it. Like, yes. Quite on time. Anywhere, I must be making myself scarce. The Tricorn Port Authority should be, not Tricorn, but Tidelight Port Authority should be here to start towing you into the dock. Well, welcome back to Tidelight, I guess.
And did you arrange for the Port Authority too?
Oh no, they saw the damaged ship just sort of out here in the bay, and they're coming to investigate. And once they see the damage, they'll offer to bring you into dry dock, and you can start talking to the portmaster about repairs.
Yeah, they probably don't want us blocking their shipping lanes.
I wouldn't.
So, would you spare me one last question?
Oh, I suppose.
Okay, so we've got ourselves the captain calls it, much to my horror, a garden gnome. We have a garden gnome that we have. Petrified sort.
A lawn
It's
ornament.
a little, well, kind of, sort of. Don't think he was originally a lawn ornament, kind of life-size.
Oh, petrified.
Anyway.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, all right. So, seems to be tied into the fact that for some reason, he was transporting someone who's kind of a friend of mine. Far, far north. Name of Vanfer. That ring any bells with you?
I know of him.
And, you know why?
That you're going to have to take up with your garden gnome, I believe you called it.
So that wasn't part of your deal with my grandfather?
I know I'm a devil, but the transport of living beings is not something that I'm privy to. So no, that is something completely different.
My grandfather certainly had his hand in a lot of things.
Oh, you don't have the slightest clue of the dark dealings that one's made.
Certainly not the grandfather I thought I knew.
But is anybody anything you thought like you originally thought they were? We all
Some people
have
work
secrets.
out a lot better.
Yeah, I don't know. Kind of like what you see is what you get when it comes to me. I'm pretty open. I'm not hiding anything. So I'm kind of, what you would expect, I think. So there's
You
at least one
saved me
person.
from a chimera. Shara, I owe you one.
I'll throw any other chimeras we run into a painting just as quickly.
And as you're talking about the chimera, you begin to hear bells starting to ring out in the bay as a couple smaller ships begin to approach yours. And as the bells start to ring, the devil is gone.
So I guess we should probably greet the port authority, then explain what's happening. Well, with the ship, I mean, like no rudder and shit.
Echo, Pearl looks around. I honestly think since it's to do with ship and ship repairs, you would be the best person maybe for that.
I mean,
We'll
I
just
can
call
take a look
you,
and make sure that they're doing repairs.
Yeah.
There's a tavern I'd like to visit, though, when the sun starts.
There's several I would like to visit.
I mean, I have one that a good friend works at. Maybe we can get discounted booze.
Whoa. Not to do the captain no drinking thing here, but I'm
She just
not
kind of
against
looks at you.
taverns, and I appreciate that we could all use at least one very stiff drink.
Pulls out flasks,
a lot of
starts
coffee.
taking a drink while you're talking.
But if we must frequent some taverns here as a high order of business, maybe we can get some information when we're doing that.
He used to take drink off of a flask.
What sort of information?
Maybe a few well-placed questions about Gold Spar. Name of company. Gold Spar Metalworks.
I mean, if we're going to do that, I think you shouldn't be with us. No offense,
That's
but I
right.
think some people might recognize you.
Perhaps. I wish we had Oh, that dress, that dress.
The one that Rory had.
The dress that Rory had.
That looked painful.
Yeah, but you know,
I'm not sure what dress you're talking about, but
It like transformed her into different things, but not like that magical illusion transformation. Like it reshaped her body. It was kind of gross.
oh, that is gross.
But also cool.
Yeah, I'm maybe kind of recognizable. Maybe I could, well, let's one thing at a time. I'm thinking maybe I should be talking to Bryant about dealing with our garden.
As you're talking about this, an individual like in a white sailor's outfit walks up to the group of you. All right, which one of you is the captain?
Oh, she's in the captain's quarters having words with our first mate. It's you probably don't want to go in there. We've got the authority to have conversation. It's fine.
Which one of you is ranking?
Points to Pearl.
And he sort of.
That would be me. Pearl waves her hat so he can pick her out.
All right. I just need your name, acting captain.
That would be formally String of Pearls.
String of Pearls. Gotcha.
Yeah, so many names, and you know I have trouble remembering them all, so I just go by Pearl.
Pearl. Okay. Acting Captain Pearl. What seems to be the issue with your ship, aside from it looking like it gotten tossed over a bit?
That seems to be the issue. That lovely individual over there, Mate Echo, I think she would be the best person to explain the damages. She's the most qualified for that.
I see. I just need a retelling of what happened, what sort of brought you to become broken down and anchored in the middle of Tidelight Bay.
Well, this is not our original destination. We think something went wrong with the rudder.
Rudder trouble. Wonderful. I would assume you don't have control over the ship anymore.
We do not.
Right, right. All right. We'll get a couple.
We could really use a dry dock right now.
To pull you into dry dock.
Yeah, we had to drop anchor at speed, so it's not a pretty picture.
No, it's not. It is most definitely not. Any loss of life from the crew?
Probably
Not
something we
so
should look
far.
into.
Okay, unknown condition of crew. Doesn't seem like the ship's on fire. Are you carrying any hazardous, flammable materials in your cargo bay?
Aside from booze and gunpowder, nothing out of the ordinary, I don't think.
That would be a no. Any illegal goods?
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that we know about.
Do you have a manifest for the cargo you are carrying, if you're carrying any cargo at all?
We weren't particularly, but I can show you what I have.
Oh, I don't need to see what you have. I'm asking about the ship's cargo.
Okay, but that would be the manifest, and I would have that as the purser.
Ah, okay. It's like, may I see it?
Yes, yes. Pearl hands him a book, like a logbook kind of thing.
Nothing that seems out of the ordinary here, and gives you the book back. All right, well, hang tight. We'll have you in dry dock in no time.
May we stay aboard?
Well, unless you're planning on swimming into the bay.
Well, some of us could, but that's yeah. If we can all just stay on the ship, we will. We will check to make sure there's no injuries. I think we had Pip overseeing getting the crew up. I think I heard Pip yelling.
Why don't we check in with Pip? We can at least assign him to
we'll
do that.
check in with
You do what you have to. I'll do what I have to. Welcome to Tidelight. He kind of just like walks back and climbs down the rope ladder onto the ship, and he begins like yelling orders to his men, who begin to like begin to transfer the orders over to the other ships to begin pulling you into dry dock. And the whole ordeal takes about an hour and a half to get you from where you're at in the bay up to the docks to allow the crew and everything to get off, and then pulling the ship into dry dock.
In that time, can we check over our crew and see if everyone's
Yeah, you can.
still here?
Shara, I see no reason why we couldn't just put the crew onto shore leave. Do you?
Seems reasonable to me. I mean, they can't really stay on the ship while it's being worked on, so.
As they leave, could you make a note of them and that would be a chance to check and make sure everybody's okay.
Yeah, I'll stay by the platform and kind of check over all of them as they're departing.
Also, you've met Bruce, yes? He was escorting.
I've met everybody.
Okay, he was escorting my little friend Matcha.
Oh yeah, the little bat one, right?
Yes. I would prefer that Matcha perhaps stays until I have a word. If she wants to be with, she? Yes?
Yeah.
He? She?
She.
If she wants to be with Bruce, I'd just like to speak with them before they go ashore.
I'll pull them aside before they...
Thank you.
Wait, are you talking about Bryce?
No, I knew. Remember Bruce?
We kept,
Bruce.
Zorro kept calling him Bruce, so we just made.
I thought it was
Bruce an
Bryce.
actual...
I thought it was Bryce.
No, that is Bryce.
Is it Bryce?
It's Bryce.
Is it Bryce? I thought it was Bruce.
No, she kept calling Bryant Bryce.
Bryce. That's right.
Now
Bryce.
we're gonna end up with a Bruce.
No,
Can
because
we have a Bruce too,
that was the joke.
I
Is we're
have a
gonna...
note. Is we have Bryce. He fills in for Shara when we're sailing.
Right.
Yeah.
So Bryce is a Goliath, and I guess now we have a Bruce. Who's
You have an orc named Bruce.
Yep.
I'll add him to the list of the crew.
Yep. We have all kinds of crew.
Well, which? Oh my goodness! And I kept confusing Match's name too.
How'd you guys end up with your crew names? Well, we couldn't keep anyone straight, so they all exist.
Anyway, small white bat person Matcha. Whoever she's with, just put them aside.
Yeah, I'll
please.
pull them aside.
Muir, what's your status in town overall? You got any problems with anybody here?
Not that I'm aware of.
Didn't all of you have some sort of issue when you left?
Well, yes, no. I certainly. Well, we'll have to have a talk about this over a drink. But, my grandfather thinks I'm dead. I wasn't supposed to let anybody know I was leaving. There was an explosion. Shara can tell you about that part. But anyway, I was told that it was safer that if they thought I was dead, because theoretically it was safer for my grandfather's family. And oh Lord, now this.
Yeah,
How
we're
you
gonna have a
feeling
discussion
about
what we're
that?
doing about this.
Not so good, actually, Muir. Really. But before we go anywhere, I think we need to sit down with Bryant and Shara, the whole thing with the crab and the garden gnome in the bag, and that I may work with Bryant on that. But I'd like to know.
If you want me to dump the gnome off somewhere, just tell me where.
Some with Bryant would be good. But oh my goodness gracious. So many things. Oh my goodness.
Well,
I don't think I should go maybe ashore, but
You can't
I
exactly
don't
stay on
see
the
why
ship
the
during
rest of you
repairs.
couldn't. If I'm on the ship, I really would be okay probably with just Bryant, but I wouldn't mind having a little muscle here if we have some issues with the garden gnome when he comes round. So who would like to stay just in case we need that?
But I don't actually think you'll be able to stay on the ship if they're gonna get repairs underway right away. Usually the
Well-
whole crew has to disembark.
To be fair, you wouldn't know if your grandfather thinks you're dead. You haven't really heard reports of what people thought of everybody's condition after the explosion and the whole ordeal that caused you to leave Tidelight to begin with. Your idea was to leave town and make certain individuals think that maybe you had perished in a fight, but you don't know if that information's been passed along or if people just thought you left the town.
Okay, well, if we have to all be off the ship, Shara, Echo, Muir, would there be a sort of a nondescript inn where we could get a couple rooms, where the group of us, the captain, maybe, I don't know, extra rooms for the captain and Cannonball, and perhaps at opposite ends of the hall. I don't know what's going on in there, but I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I'd suggest anything near the docks. You know,
Okay.
the rich, fancy people never come down to the docks. So.
Okay, well, something where the group of us could kind of, get enough rooms for sort of the staff.
Well,
At a,
sorry to
cheap
interject
rate.
here as Bryant comes along. I do own an inn in the tavern. You all stayed there before. The bounty,
you do.
the bounty is still open.
perfect. Can we get? Is that acceptable still to go there?
I mean, I don't see why. My whole plan was going over there and checking on my sister and seeing if the establishment was still standing.
Well, once we know, I'm sure it's done well. Once we know that it is, perhaps that would be the place to meet up then.
I mean, you wouldn't need to spend money on rooms or anything. I would make sure that everything was comped.
I like the sound
Well-
of that.
I do too, but I mean, it shouldn't be at your expense, Brian.
Oh, you're part of the crew.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna go home, but if you're offering a free room, I'll take it.
I think it might be better if we kind of stuck together more. Or at least kept meeting and keeping each other informed.
Yeah, I mean, we should certainly do that, just to ensure each other's safety, if no other reason.
And Shara, again, not to be the captain in any way. And I know that you love fighting, and
I do.
but perhaps not for a bit. Think of it as keeping a lower profile. Nothing. I mean, you're so good that you might attract attention with a lot of wins or something, and maybe that wouldn't be good.
We can talk about that later. I'd like to actually have a little conversation with you after you speak with Matcha before we disembark from the ship. So we'll leave that until then.
Okay.
Well, I think if
Pearl looks super confused and just totally overwhelmed. Like she's just this is more than she can handle in one day already. But she's giving it her best shot.
now you mentioned wanting some muscle when you talk to your garden gnome. I'm still very confused by that, by the way. Do you want all of us to stay just in case? I mean, the more muscle, the more intimidating. If you're going for that.
But I think there's a few other things. I think we need to get as much information as we can about Goldspar Metalworks and what's the what are people saying?
I have a friend who works at a tavern. I'll head that way since I'm not wanted here. So it sounds like you guys are.
But I do need somebody, I think, just I mean, I'm sure Bryant is more than capable. In fact, Bryant, I'm certainly sure you're more than capable, but someone
Capable
like...
for what?
Well, I want to wake up the garden gnome.
You see, there's just a very confused look on his face. Is that code for something?
Well, no. Remember a long time ago, you and I had a chat about the petrified gnome.
Oh, him. I'm sorry. I thought this was like some sort of like coded talk.
The captain keeps calling him a garden gnome, and it's sort of stuck,
Well,
unfortunately.
I can see where the captain would get the idea. Petrified gnome, lawn instrument. It definitely does make sense. Are you looking for somebody to... Well, I would assume it would be. Are you looking for somebody to undo the petrification?
Yes.
How black market are you looking to go? You want somebody on the up and up, or do you want somebody who will keep quiet?
You know, at this point, I'm not sure I care. What do you folks think? This is
I
all
don't fully
beyond
understand the
me,
context,
truly.
so.
I mean,
As
this
long as we
one's-
don't alert the wrong person, it's fine.
Yeah, and I mean, this whole gnome thing, it's kind of your deal, Pearl. This guy was somebody from a ship that was in your family's fleet, right? So it's kind of your call to make.
Well, if I'm correct in what we've pieced together, he was captain on a ship that theoretically took Vanfer to the northern reaches of the Tricorn. But something happened, and then there seemed to be another Vanfer, which is the part I'm very confused about, but I admit it, that doesn't take much. And then something happened, according to the logbooks, to this gnome, and the gnome was petrified, stuffed in a box, put under the captain's bed. There was a new captain. The ship sank. We found the treasure, the garden gnome, and the book. And I talked about bringing him round, but we debated whether it was a good idea, but I want to hear what he has to say, whether we believe it or not, but I want to hear what he has to say.
From your description, it'd probably be wise to have someone who won't alert whatever party petrified him and took his place.
If they're still around, the ship did sink, and that's the thing, but what took over, I don't know.
Why'd the ship
So,
sink?
perhaps slightly black. Is there a gray market, Bryant?
I mean, I can find
Pearl.
I can
Pearl's out of
find
perception.
somebody who's morally gray, if that's what you're asking. I mean, there's definitely quite a few morally gray individuals here in Tidelight.
Why not
Morally,
go there? Because they might sell the information for their own benefit.
oh, more than likely.
Find someone off.
Why not just take him to like a temple or something
There's-
and pay the clerics to do it?
There's that too. I mean, you could take them to the Grand Temple of Coatil, and they'll be more than willing to undo the petrification, though it won't be in a private matter. So,
But that might work to our benefit.
Yeah, and I mean, these, like uppity religious types don't really go around spreading rumors about people that they help in the temple.
I wouldn't
so-
necessarily call the priests and priestesses of Coatil uppity religious types. They're all sailors and former pirates and whatnot. Everyone who's had a love for the sea. They're not like, your average
I just mean like
robe
somebody
and
that-
censure type priests.
somebody that works in a temple, compared to like us lowly dock workers type of thing.
Yeah, but there might be other people there that then spread rumors. Who sees it happening?
Okay, so, I mean, truly, we go there. Oh, look, we found this petrified gnome in amongst some treasure. Can you bring him round? And we'd like to hear his story. I mean, maybe we just don't say too much when we take him in.
Just leave
Most
out
people don't recognize
details.
him.
Yeah, I mean, that's not lying. It's just
How
providing.
long was he under there?
Good question.
I mean, if he's on, you said one of your grandfather's ship, he obviously originated from Tidelight or came through here often enough, people might recognize him.
Maybe. Name of the ship wasn't one I recognized, but apparently my grandfather had a much bigger enterprise, shall we say, than
Well, how
I
about
was
this?
aware of.
How about we go to Bryant's Inn? We dump the gnome in a room there. Then somebody goes to the temple and explains to a cleric that, hey, we have this petrified guy. He's too heavy for us to move. Could we pay you to come fix
That's
it?
an option.
That way it's, in a private setting.
Tell you what, since we still need to figure out whether or not you guys can travel around Tidelight safely, why don't you guys head to the tavern, the inn. I'll run to the temple and bring by a cleric.
I like that.
Works for me.
As this conversation is going on, you feel the boat sort of slowly come to a stop. As Pip kind of looks over and, Shara, we're at the dock. The gangplank's going down.
Oh, that's my cue. I will scurry off and pretend to have a clipboard and a checklist, because I don't actually have one. And
as you're doing that, Pip sort of just like whispers over, by the way, everyone's present and accounted for. Nobody was hurt. They were all just asleep.
good, because I do not remember everyone's names.
Yeah, I sort of do, so I kind of took it upon myself to make sure.
I'm glad one of us is paying attention. And, hey, listen. I know everyone keeps calling you Pip, and I know your name is actually Pip. Just don't take it personally, okay?
Oh, no, I think of it as a nickname.
That's a good way to go about it.
I mean, Pip is easier to say than Pim. That
Yes, they're
M
kinda
swords
like the
that M sort of drags on for some people.
I guess so. Anyway, you're doing a good job. Keep it up.
Thank you. And he kind of, after everybody walks, starts to depart, he departs himself.
And I will keep an eye out for Matcha and pull her aside when she goes
You
to...
do not see Matcha. You see Bryce, but you don't see Matcha.
I will stop Bryce then as he's leaving. Hey, where's the little bat girl?
Oh, mentioned something about wanting to go see the shinies of the city and sort of flew off as the ship came to a stop. So,
Shit. Okay.
yep,
Thanks.
can't really catch her. So,
Yeah, I'd be surprised if you could.
she said she'd be back. She doesn't look like she caused too much trouble.
All right, I'll let the acting captain know then. We'll wait there for Pearl and the rest of the officers.
Okay, so Pearl comes trundling up. So, Shara, how did it go?
Everyone is alive and uninjured and accounted for. We remembered all their names. It was great.
Good, great.
Matcha flew off already. She's in the city, so I couldn't stop her or anything. So you'll have to go
Okay.
find her.
No. What I'll do is I will just take the tea set with me.
Okay, I don't know what that means, but cool.
Oh, didn't you hear what happened?
I hear a lot of things, bro.
Okay, so remember when we were down the basement and I was crawling around on the low shelves and I found the
Yeah, I remember the tea set.
Okay, yeah. Well, in that other room, there was that nice table, and there was a tea set, and I kind of called to me, and everybody kind of said, take it. So I took the tea set, and then when we got back on the ship, and I was up doing my watch, and I was in the crow's nest, and I had this I really wanted a cup of tea, and I know I'm not a tea drinker. Went down, made tea, poof, and that was when the little bat person, my chat, appeared.
Oh,
And if I want her to come back, remember I said she said she knew lots of treasure maps.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll just pop down to the galley and grab the tea set and make sure I take it with me to the tavern, and then if we need her, as long as I kind of know she's around, and I'll just take the tea set with me. It's all good.
Okay. Yeah, ship's fucking weird, man, but cool. I'll wait here for you then while you go get the tea set, so we can have a little chat before we disembark.
Okay. So Pearl scoots down, grabs the tea set, comes back up.
While they're having their discussion, Echo's going back to her room just to check on her brewing stuff that she set up because she wanted to make sure all that survived the crash.
Is Muir around at this point?
Yeah, absolutely.
Muir, not to eavesdrop, but do you want to kind of go over to the captain's quarters and kind of, ears and all, kind of listen, see if you can hear what's going on in there? Maybe.
Is that our business?
Well, or I mean, slip a note under the door or something. Tell them we're going ashore. Tell them where we're going. I mean,
I mean, I'm still not convinced they're arguing, so you might not want to go over there. You might hear something you don't want to hear.
Don't start
Yeah,
ships.
Maybe a note under the door.
That sounds like a much better idea. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Look, I'm saying this is just the second time they've sequestered themselves away from the rest of us. If it happens again, I'm going to be convinced.
Well, yeah, but look what happened the last time. They're making deals with devils. I don't know. I mean,
And Muir, as you're going to slip the note underneath the door, you can hear some choice words being said back and forth between the two of them.
Yep, that's arguing. Not my business.
Some people like that. I don't kink shame.
I just write out a quick note. We'll be at Bryant's
Bounty
Tavern when you're done yelling at each other.
Alrighty.
and Shara, you want to talk to me too?
Yeah, just a super quick chat here before we step off the ship. Since you're acting captain, this kind of stuff, it needs to be brought to the most superior officer that's available. This whole nonsense with killing this dude, I'm not gonna stop any of you guys from doing it, but I want no part in that, and I have no desire to be under the command of a captain that makes those decisions. So as I step off the ship, consider that my official resignation from the crew.
No, Shara, don't do that.
Well, I'm not. It's not a hey, I'm asking you if I can do that. It's a hey, I'm doing that. You're the acting captain, so I'm letting you know.
Will you come to the bounty?
Oh yeah, I'm down to keep helping you guys and shit. But sailing on this ship under this captain, that's done.
I can't say I'm ready to say the same things as Shara, but I do share some of her mindset. I'm not happy with someone who made a deal for us to kill someone
Well,
as captain.
as I said to the captain, it's difficult for me. I'm not wanting to go against the crew. She was the captain, she made the deal. And maybe my grandfather is a horrible person, but I don't really feel it's my place to be the judge and jury of this. I'd like to know the story,
Well, I
but
was going to wait until we're at the bounty to talk about this, but I definitely think we should get his side of what happened.
but I'm I don't know. I mean, I'm really not up to killing him, but I certainly would hate to see any of you do it. And to be put into that position. I mean, especially you, Shara. No, I
Well,
get
I
that.
mean, I'm not gonna like judge anyone for doing it. If they want to do that, to each their own. Like, I'm not judging anyone for making deals either. But don't make a deal on my behalf, you know. So, like, the deal is for the crew, and that's fine if the crew wants to do that. I don't, so I'm not a part of the crew anymore.
I'm very torn because I also cannot be tied to one city. It does not work for me.
And
So
I mean that's the other thing. Like, I would love to just stay here at home and go back to work and hang out with my friends, but we got like a whole other array of shit going on with this like ancient evil thing or whatever that we woke up. We got to go back over to Echo Bay and shit. We can't be bound to Tidelight. I can't be bound to Tidelight. And if being a part of the crew means we're bound to Tidelight till we kill a dude, I'm not a part of the crew anymore.
I don't think that's unfortunately going to relieve you from the deal.
But if he's got a problem with the way I'm doing things, he can come tell me to my face.
I think we should at least table whatever is going on with that contract until Jenka is back around. It's
Well,
done with Cannonball.
let's find out all the information we can. Let's make the most complete story, put together the most complete story we can. Hear all sides of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to know just for curiosity's sake, but I do, like, officially, I need to tell you as my superior officer on the ship that as soon as I step off the ship, I'm off the crew. Like, I need you to tell me that you understand that I'm telling you that right now. I'm not saying I'm abandoning you guys. I still got a whole lot of shit that I'd like to do with you guys. But as far as the crew is concerned, acting captain, this is my resignation. Do you accept it?
I don't think I cannot stop you from doing that, Shara. In any kind of good conscience. I'm not that kind of person. So yes, very
Okay.
regretfully, you are very dear to me. And I like that you have my back.
And I will for many more days to come. Like I say, I'm not abandoning you guys. I'm just detaching myself from this devil bullshit.
I don't like any of that devil bullshit either.
If it gets sorted, I'm happy to talk about rejoining the crew. But as long as it's in play, I'm not.
We'll see what we can do.
You know, in all honesty, I think I'm with Shara because I don't want anyone being able to speak for me anymore as this thing plays out. I will still stick around. I will still help. Don't get me wrong. But if she can speak for us, as long as we're crew members, I don't want any more deals being made in my name.
So, what happens if we all resign?
I'm not sure.
Then I think it's just up to her to do it.
The other thing is, I do not want that devil to get his dirty, filthy claws in my stepbrother. I don't really care for my stepbrother a lot, but if he hasn't been touched yet, I'd like to keep it that way.
We should talk with the Hunters Guild in town. They might be able to have a protection charm he can use.
That's not a bad idea. I gotta swing by there anyway to turn in this bounty for the Rex. Also, Pearl, just putting this out there. If you don't want your stepbrother getting involved in this shit, seems to me the best way to go about that is to just go talk to your stepbrother and, like, tell him everything.
It might be a good step.
But what
Or
is my grandfather?
possibly have him involved in the conversation.
That too.
I don't see.
I would
mean,
still take a protection charm from the Hunters Guild if you can and offer it to him. Don't tell him. Be upfront with him why he needs it. But that way.
The only thing I do worry about, okay, I mean, he, you know, as a little brother, he was very talented, I thought. So I'm hoping that was natural talent. The devil we spoke to said that he didn't have his claws in him. But what, you know, has my grandfather had influence? But I think that's a risk we take. I'm willing to take that. So how about, could we all submit our resignations? Sign that we're doing it. Stuff those notes under the door, along with the "we'll be at the bounty," and walk off the ship.
As you're conversing with this, a gnome walks up to you. Just to let you know, that won't work if you're trying to get out of the contract. You quitting doesn't free you from your obligations.
No, it simply prevents it. Wait, who the hell are you?
Yeah, I was gonna say, who the fuck is this?
Oh, I'm sorry. I took on a different look while I was heading into the town. We spoke earlier.
Oh, so you probably have a dress too then.
A dress? No,
Yeah,
it's a natural ability for those of my people.
Anyway, it's less about getting out of the contract, it's preventing further changes to the contracts or further agreements made in our name.
Oh, there will be no altering the contract. It's already been signed. We were clear.
We don't want
on
any
it.
future contracts in our names.
Oh, understandable. I mean, that's something most employees or crew members of a ship should always hash out with their captain, that in regards to grand ventures that meet something, say, of a infernal or demonic level, that their souls cannot be used to barter.
And it's something I will ensure from that one.
Yeah, and also I do feel like I need to point out here that my resignation, it wasn't necessarily to get out of the contract. I'm not saying you don't have a claim on whatever you're claiming to have a claim on, but I'm just saying I'm having no part of it. And, you know, if Captain Jenka is doing this to save her own hide from whatever that is that's chasing her, well, she just needs to get it done before I leave Tide Light then.
Leaving Tide Light would not be in your best health.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that we've been doing lately is not my best health.
I'm just saying, I highly suggest you don't leave. It would be disastrous for you.
And I understand that you're saying that.
We're not saying we're leaving.
Well, Shara
We're
just
just
said
saying.
that she was planning on leaving.
Eventually.
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah, just don't leave until it's done, and then once it's done, you're free to go. I don't necessarily care what happens afterward. Just take care. I don't want anything bad happening to any of you. You all seem to be fine, upstanding individuals that just got kind of caught in the crossfire.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of shit to do. I'm gonna stay here for a while, you know, talk to some people, have some drinks, do what I want to do, and then I've gotta go do a trial of pain or whatever the fuck it was called over near Echo Bay. So we have until then, or Jenka has until then, to sort out whatever it is she's doing here. It may be a bad idea for me to leave, but I'm still gonna try and leave when I'm ready to. I'm having no part in this nonsense.
I guess I'm gonna have to put it bluntly. If you were to step foot outside of Tidelight before the task is completed, you wouldn't make it a second step. You would be killed instantly, and your soul would be mine.
Yeah, I get it. And if that's the way it's gonna be, that's the way it's gonna be. That'll be on Jenka, not on me.
That I can't argue with.
I think that's your decision, Shara, as long as you understand what it means.
I understand fully.
It sounds like you do. Yes. But, anyone have some paper? Wait, I think I have paper.
Just so you know, this is
I
going to
certainly
be
do.
the second crew your captain has lost. The first one, the first one was at the hands of the individual that is hunting for her now. So I wouldn't hold it too much of against you that she signed this deal to free you out of a longer binding contract. In her own twisted way, it was for best interests.
She still got us into that original contract, too.
Well, to
Lesson
be
learned.
fair, nobody had an issue when you were talking with the gnome in the wall. It seemed that only anybody had an issue with helping once my true identity was revealed. A little bit racist if you think about it, but that's neither here nor there.
I think there was a plan to double cross the knoll in the wall because we could.
Ah,
This is different.
exactly. You were planning on double crossing me, which is sad to say, an individual in such need, and you were going to just turn your back on it.
We weren't going to kill people.
But then again, morally gray. Anyway, I have some food to eat, so I'll bid you adieu again. Just wanted to give you the heads up that quitting isn't going to take your obligation away. Hell, if you want to make it, have that Pim kid take care of it. He seems to have a destructive side.
You can leave Pim out of this.
No, I'm not going to touch Pim.
Good.
I'm just saying that if none of you want to get your hands bloody, there are a couple of cutthroats in your on the crew that would be more than happy to drive a dagger in the heart of an old man.
That's
My grandfather.
neither here nor there.
That's, again, obviously not something that concerns you. But, by the way, Mel, you know, I'm not real fond of you, and I really don't like it when you choose gnomes as a disguise.
No.
Just saying.
Well, I take what is ever around, and there were a bunch of gnomes on the dock, so I figured I'd fit in.
With that, I think we're going to be off.
Yeah, have fun. I'm off as well. Hopefully, remember, you stab him
You're
in the
never
heart.
far away, apparently.
Oh, I am never far away. But you stab him in the heart within the week, I'll pay for your ship.
That you broke.
That I hired
I think
someone
after
to.
today, it's Jacob's ship.
Well, technically it's Rory's ship, but that's neither. She's not here, so.
Sounds like we have
Somehow
someone to
it
stick to the
seems
bill.
like blood money, and I think there's way too much of that around here.
Oh, I don't deal in blood money. All of my business transactions are on the up and up.
Okay, yeah.
I think they're
so
splitting
the blood
hairs.
of my grandfather within a week, And you'll fix the ship? I call that blood money.
His life is
You
forfeit.
can call it what you want.
His life is forfeit anyway. I'm just...
Well, in that case, you can pay for the repairs that you caused, the damage you caused anyway.
Yeah, within a week. That's
Why
my
within a
offer.
week? What's the week? Why a week?
Let's just say
Questions
that...
again.
Let's just say that I want his soul sooner than later.
Why are you such a hurry to get his soul? I mean, he's old. He's gonna die of old age soon anyway.
No, he won't.
That's also part of the contract, probably.
Yep. Your stepbrother was never going to inherit it. If anything, by the time your grandfather came to die, your stepbrother's life essence would have been put into him to keep him going.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes. How do you think Redding has kept going for so long?
He's a gnome.
Are you telling me he's taking the life essence of his family members?
Oh, very much so. The next in line is always just a meal to keep him going. They're just batteries.
Well, I guess you dodged the hook.
For how long now?
Oh, this would be... the third. Give or take.
I feel a little less bad about him dying, but at the same time, I still don't want to be the one to do it.
Your grandfather doesn't care about anybody but himself and his business and lining his pockets with gold.
I mean, that's your side of the story.
And that
Yeah,
is
it
the
is.
truth. That is the truth. Again, I do not lie in these situations.
It's your truth. And then there's my grandfather's truth.
Your
And the
grandfather
real truth
has
is maybe
no
somewhere
truth.
in the middle.
Your grandfather
I
has
mean-
no truth.
Sounds like we might need to find that squirrel sooner rather than later, and maybe question him with it as well.
Here, well, you have your garden gnome. He can give you a little insight of what kind of person your grandfather is. But if that doesn't turn up enough answers, tell you what. I'll be at the One-Eyed Jack. Find me there and I'll point you in the direction of somebody who will definitely be able to give you the odds and ends of your father or your grandfather's misdoings.
And how do we
Why
know
don't
this
you
is not
do
somebody you
that
just paid
now and
off?
Save us the trouble.
What's that?
Why don't you just tell us that now and save us the trouble?
I'm not going to do all the legwork. You had a plan to get that unfortunate individual unpetrified. I would like to see them freed of that as well, as they were simply doing their job.
But you don't think they're going to have a lot of information for us?
Oh, I don't
You
know.
Somebody who does.
I don't know what they'll be willing to spill. I'm just saying that if information doesn't turn up for them, or if they're a little tight-lipped and none of you seem like you are the sort to torture an individual for information, come to me and I'll give you the name of somebody who was there at the contract signing.
How do we know this person also is under contract with you to tell us what we want to hear?
Because again, I don't work in that way. I am bound
So
by
you say.
I am bound by a code of ethics just like every other devil out there. We are not as evil as you believe us to be. If anything, we're just legitimate businessmen. If you want conniving and backstabbing and double crossing and everything like that, deal with a demon, deal with a djinn. But at least when you deal with a devil, you know what you're getting.
Well, you'll have to, actually, given my background growing up in the monastery, would I know anything about devils that would validate what he's telling us?
Give me a history check.
16?
16. You do remember that they are, when they do make deals and everything, they are bound by contract. And while they may sugarcoat some things or they may use doublespeak, they don't speak in straight lie.
Okay.
Normally on like an alignment chart, if that even was still a thing anymore, devils for the most part are usually lawful evil.
Not in front of this guy, but she will share that with the rest of everyone else once he leaves. Although I'm pretty sure he's overhearing everything we talk about.
Maybe.
Would, as someone who has a father who was a djinn, would my mother have shared anything that might round out my knowledge in any way of this situation?
Your mother has told you that if a djinn offers you wishes, never take it, as they will be twisted and manipulated to their entertainment.
Yeah,
Mia.
Mia.
Okay, so all right, fair enough. Okay, so well, since I have Shara's resignation from the crew here, does anyone else want to give me theirs? I'll take them. Okay, Echo, Muir.
Also
And to
want
be clear, I
kill a
just-
demon. But that's another problem.
That's the Hunter's Guild, maybe. What if we take a contract out on him? We'd probably need his name for that, though.
Well,
Sure, that's a long list.
digging a deeper hole, perhaps. So, Muir, am I collecting a resignation from you as well, or no?
Oh, I resigned from being put under contract. Against my will.
Yes.
Okay. So is that a yes, then?
Yes. I think we might have to revisit the terms of our employment.
Okay. So Pearl is also going to write out something similar as well, indicating that, you know, from going forward, once she's off the ship, she does not consider, like, what's in the past holds, but anything going forward, no, she's not part of. She's not under the captain for future things, and she'll take all 4 of those and tuck them under the captain's quarters doors.
To be clear, I think all of us agreed that they indicate that we would be open to future once this has been resolved and we can renegotiate terms of whether or not contracts will be in our name again.
and perhaps renegotiate stations on the ship.
Yes.
Yeah, a whole bunch of
We're open to renegotiation.
yeah. We want a union rep. No,
Union!
we're unionizing. No, anyway, yeah. So something to that effect, and then I guess we're just now.
And we'll be heading to the temple to grab him as a priest.
I'm going to suggest to Shara that Shara picks up our navigation box and takes it with us.
Yeah, I'll scoop it up and stuff it in the crab bag.
So you
Yeah,
try you try to pick it up and it is lodged into the ship. It is one with the ship.
That's right. We did kind of have it built into the.
No, we didn't. We had a
We
platform
had
made.
it.
You had
we
a
had it
platform
built
made,
into the
but-
platform and the ability to hide it within the platform. But it was kind of constructed into that platform.
Yeah, the navigation tool itself had pretty much burrowed itself into the platform, becoming a
Yes,
permanent
I recall.
fixture.
I recall that now. Yes, it
Well-
became a part of the ship.
Let's hope that if Cannonball tries to set it alight, it will dislodge itself.
He'll
Perhaps
light the
throw
whole ship
itself
on
over.
fire if he does, so...
Well, there's that, isn't there? That could be interesting.
We're insured, right?
I don't know. Are we insured?
No, we're not.
No, I don't think so. Bryant, we ready to go then?
I'm ready to go anytime you are.
I do have the tea set, just so you're warned.
That is fine. It's your tea set.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Echo, we will meet you back at the Wyvern's Bounty.
Yes, I will
Have
be
you
there
been?
with the priest.
Have you been to Tide Light before?
Oh yes, I have an apartment.
Oh,
That
perfect.
away.
Perfect. Well, then you know where the temple's at.
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on. You live here?
Yes, I do. I mean, I room with a good friend of mine. She works at one of the taverns.
Well, shit, how come we've never run into each other?
I don't know. I was wondering the same thing. I do get contracts out on ships all the time, though, so I tend to come and go a lot.
And I'm mostly just at the docks.
And that might
in
be
the
why.
taverns.
We've probably passed by each other.
And in the holding cells.
And the brawling pits, but
I'm surprised we haven't run each other at the brawling pits. I've been there a few times.
Well, I usually brawl just kind of in the streets.
Well, that would be why.
Which is
Every once
usually
in a while, I'll-
followed by holding cells.
I know we're told not to get into fights here, but if you need someone to rumble with, I think it would be fun.
You're
Friendly,
right.
of course.
Of course.
I mean, if there's brawling, there's usually a little bloodshed. That's expected. No hard feelings.
Never.
I think with that, I'm more take off for the temple.
Okay.
just remember, if you do get into a fight,
It was
I
their
do
fault.
have some healing, but I don't heal stupid.
I mean, sometimes having
Me and Final
the battle
Fantasy.
wounds
I
is
don't
part
heal
of the
stupid.
fight. I mean, you gotta show it off so that when people ask you about it, you can say they look worse.
It's true.
Baba Cub, thank you for that resub.
With that, I'm just going to pivot back around and keep going.
Okay. So the group minus Echo begin to make their way towards the Wyvern's Bounty. When you get there, Anastasia is behind the bar. It's a little bit empty, though. It's not even midday yet by the time you get in, so the morning drinkers have yet to show up. Though, with breakfast only having slowly passed, the buffet is open. There is still fresh biscuits and gravy and bacon and everything that you helped yourselves to when you were here last. She comes around the bar and gives Bryant a hug, looks at the rest of you. Well, welcome back from the dead. You didn't really miss much. It's been really boring here. I expected some sort of guards or something coming looking for you or anything like that. No. I think you could have all just stayed in here and been perfectly fine.
Funny that.
Could have avoided a whole lot of world-ending shit if we did that.
Maybe. Most definitely. Though, if I might say, all of you look like you've been hit by a horse. You need anything to drink? Breakfast is over there, already ready to go.
Shara starts to go towards the breakfast, but then stops and like turns to look back at Bryant. Food is comp too, right?
You're technically family now. Yes.
Go straight
Rooms
to
free,
breakfast.
drinks free, food's free. All good.
She is just stuffing her face.
I'll have a little breakfast. It's been a it's been a day already and it's only morning. How much caffeine can you put in 1 cup of coffee?
You want coffee that sort of has a kick, wake you up?
Kinda thick.
I have just the thing for you.
Lots of honey.
Oh, that smirk scares me.
The Grouch Couch. Thank you for that raid.
Well, you
And
do.
then maybe something very strongly alcoholic just to top it off. And I'm just going to go sit over there.
I have the perfect thing for you. Yes, go get your breakfast. I'll make it for you. Anything to drink for the rest of the group here?
Shara's off stuffing her face, and she pauses for a moment and holds up a tankard of some drink that she took off of someone else's table.
And as you like drink from that tankard, it's like stale mead. It's been sitting there for a while.
I mean, it's kind of the mead that she's used to in the places that she frequents.
I mean, does it taste so bad if you drink it faster?
Time.
Just means you have to drink faster, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't taste it as much.
And she's like, "Oh, Shari, don't drink that. I can get you a fresh one."
Poison or something.
No, it's
I
just
already drank it.
kind of just shakes her head, and she goes over and just like pours you a fresh cup. There, at least now it's gonna taste the way it should.
Nice, the fresh stuff.
Yes, and less cigars in it.
I thought it seemed a little
Smoky.
chewy for
Yeah.
ale.
But then again, shark person, it's just like
Yeah.
goats of the sea, they'll eat whatever.
Yep.
As she goes behind and she starts working on Pearl's drink, and Pearl, you can just smell just like the exquisite fresh coffee being poured into the cup, and you can see her pouring a bit of alcohol into it as well, and then dropping what looks to be a couple cloves into it, and just like a little dash of like hot pepper. And she comes over and she just brings you the cup. She's like, "This should wake you up and then some."
Well, it's not so much waking up as, for me, it actually is kind of calming down. I have a lot to think about. I'm just going to sit here, hopefully quietly. Echo's going to go run an errand after she has something to eat.
Well, I can make sure that there's more breakfast put out. And she kind of looks over, is like, Char's sort of thankfully clearing it out. That way I don't have to throw any of it away. I was worried that the breakfast wasn't going to attract anyone today. Business has been a little bit slow, but then again, when all of the Ravon ships pulled out of port about a week or so ago, business has been slowing down everywhere. There wasn't any sort of word as to why they were leaving, but it kind of caught everyone by surprise. Official word from their HQ here is they haven't left. There was just important business they need to take care of. So fingers crossed. And about 20 minutes pass as you're sitting down, drinking your coffee and having your breakfast, as Echo comes in with a sea elf, dressed in these soft white robes with blue embroidery about them. The holy symbol of Coateal emblazoned on the robe itself. And he sort of walks over the Pearl. I'm told you have a companion that has been petrified and you wish to free them. of their stony prison.
Yes. Anastasia, would there be a slightly larger room that you would have that we could perhaps offer for the cleric for this?
Well, we have the bedrooms.
A sort of perhaps a larger one, so that any of the crew here that wish to be there can join us.
Well, you could take, as long as you promise not to mess it up, you could take the suite.
Earl, Muir, Echo, think we can manage that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That would be lovely.
Well, she walks back around the bar, and you can hear a bunch of keys jumbling around underneath, and she grabs it and she throws it over to you. Top of the stairs, all the way down the hall. You should see it. It's the only double doors up there.
Bryant, will you be joining us, please?
I think I'll stay down here and catch up with Stacy, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Echo, being the monk, will snatch the keys out of midair so I can go up there and start getting things ready.
Monk reflexes.
Monk!
It's not even a reflex at this point in time. It's you see something in the air and you've got to grab it.
Yeah.
You're like a cat.
It's an obsession now. Yeah, like a cat. Cat sees something on edge, must knock it off.
That's how you beat monks. You just toss something up in the air, and then when they go to grab it, you punch them in the gut.
Or you make sure whatever you toss is explodable.
Or that.
Throw an open bag of holding.
There you go. Just throw a bag of
Bag of
devouring.
devouring?
at them.
Yeah, just throw an open bag of devouring and watch them grab it and watch the chaos ensue.
I will rush up there with Echo. I think our little fib to this cleric was that the guy was here and too heavy for us to move to the temple. So
Yeah.
I'll go with Echo to get into that room first and pull the garden gnome out of the bag.
You might want to open it by the door and just kind of drag him through so it looks a little scuffed in the dust and everything. Looks like we drug him in here.
Good idea.
And as you reach in to like try to pull the individual out, you feel a bit of resistance as something on the other side has a hold of the gnome as well.
Come on, let go. I know you've made friends with him, but you can actually talk to him when he's a person again. How about that?
And it's a little bit more of a back and forth, and then finally it just sort of lets go as the crab that's grown in size now, as this bag of holding has now become like a satchel, crawls out of the bag and is like just staring at you intently, almost judging you and telling you not to hurt it. Hurt the statue, that is. It seems to have bonded with it.
Look, this is gonna be fine. We're gonna fix the guy so he's not stone anymore. We're not gonna like beat him up or anything. You'll be okay.
And the crab kind of sits there and stares at you confused, not understanding a word you just said. You can see its eyes kind of go cross-eyed, and it kind of just walks and climbs back into the satchel.
He'll be fine. He gets it.
We'll have to get something nice after
speak
this.
with animals.
You do, but you are downstairs right now.
And also remember, we tried that with the crab before, but he wasn't technically a beast.
Yes,
He
that's
is
right.
not a beast.
Yeah, okay, so that's not gonna work. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
the only
that
one
now.
that could talk with him is
Jenka for some reason, yes. Yeah, okay.
We'll have to get your crab friend something nice after this. Maybe find him an actual garden gnome.
Or like maybe another crab friend.
Yeah. Wonder if he'd like a statue of a crab.
I don't know.
I've heard you can't stick live things in there, so.
Earl doesn't really seem to like the statue of the gnome, and like they're both gnomes, so maybe it's like the same deal if we got the crab statue for the crab.
Oh,
that
true.
insensitive? I don't really understand the whole dynamic there.
But you get the gnome inside the room.
Well, let's mess with the floor, trying to make it look like we drug him
Yeah.
a little, so that, yeah.
And after a while, the priest begins making their way upstairs and enters into the room, and he looks the gnome over. Does anyone know this individual's name?
Oh, we did have that journal that we found with him. Did it have his name in it? I don't remember.
Thought it did.
One moment. If you could give me a moment, I just need to check in my journal and see if I wrote it down. So much has happened.
Oh, it doesn't really matter. I just thought if somebody knew their name, it's usually calming for them to hear their names once they pop out of this. Petrification is a rather jarring condition.
The name that we're looking for is Barnaby Hackwrench. Shara doesn't remember that, but I have notes. As the player.
Thank you. I would have got there eventually. Obviously, you have a better search system than I do.
No, I don't.
You found it faster than I did.
I just remember where in the storyline these notes are taken. That's all.
Yeah.
It's all just done in a single notepad file in order of when we discover it.
Yeah.
Barnaby, okay. Shuts the door and he walks over and he takes out a little bit of like this oil and pours it on Barnaby and seals the bottle, putting it back in his satchel, and he just walks away. Give it about, and as he's talking, the petrification begins chipping away at the statue until a very alarmed and tormented gnome is sitting there looking at all of you, panting and breathing. You can see that his body is like still wet and slick with seawater. Where am I? Who are you? Why aren't we sinking?
That's a lot of questions. Which one do you want first?
And he kind of looks over and he sees Pearl. No, you get her away from me. And he slowly starts backing up away from, like, towards the windows.
Can I move between him and the windows just to cut off?
Are you trying not to alarm him, or are you just quickly moving to stop him?
Pearl will
I wanna
back
stop him.
up and put her hands up.
Okay, if you're going to move to stop him, are you just getting in the way, or are you going to grab him?
No, I'm just getting in the way.
Okay. So since you're not you're not like trying to hide the fact you're doing that, he kind of gets a little more agitated as he stops and he turns and looks at you, and he like from his back he pulls out a knife.
She just looks unamused at his knife. Look, we just have a few questions about what happened.
Yeah,
Do
You're free to go on your way.
Yeah,
How do you know?
bet you do. And he kind of like looks over at Pearl.
Look, Pearl doesn't even know what happened.
I don't believe I've met you. How do you know?
No, you've never met me, but I know who you are. You're one of his students, coming to get revenge for a fallen master. I know you and your circles.
Oh,
That was not what I was expecting.
Venter. How do you know that I know him?
Don't play coy with me. Your grandfather is a backstabbing bastard, and I don't really expect you to be any different.
That's where I was expecting this to go.
So I'm going to give you one choice and one choice right now. You are going to open that door, and you are going to let me walk. No questions asked, or people are about to get bloodied.
Muir, Shara.
Yeah.
I'm fine with him leaving, but
Oh.
not till he answers our questions. And in fact, if we have to, I will leave the room if that makes him more comfortable.
No, the only thing that's going to make me comfortable is you opening those doors and let me going right now.
And where are you going to go?
Away from here. Away from her twisted little family.
You know where you are, right?
No.
We are
You're in
Light.
Tide Light.
Fuck.
So running out the door is running into probably somewhere you don't want to be.
If
However-
anything, we're keeping you safe right now.
Answer our questions and we'll help you get on a ship's passage out of here.
How about you just open the door, escort me out of town, and then we just leave it at that?
We can't.
We
leave
can't
town.
leave town.
You can't
Yeah.
leave the town.
No, we
Not-
have to deal with a problem that you're going to give us information on.
And why
You might
would
even like it.
why would I do that?
Because if not, you'll probably die along with the rest of us.
Give me a persuasion roll with that.
That is a dirty 20.
A dirty 20.
The bunny's persuasive.
Yeah.
The
The
bunny
bunny has
apparently
a big
actually
ass.
has persuasion.
Better than the rest of us.
Don't know when I got that, but here we are.
Fine. But he just holds the knife up and with the blade pointed directly at Pearl. But I'm not putting this down.
Fine, if your arm
makes
gets
you comfortable.
tired, that's your problem, not ours.
You move
This
you,
could be a long
as he just like stares at
conversation.
Pearl. You move, you get shot.
With a knife, that's a trick.
As he kind of just aims it a little away from your face, and he presses the button as the blade launches off of the knife and embeds it in the wall behind you. And he reaches into his coat and he pops another blade onto
he
it.
was just in his underwear. How did he get a coat on?
Oh, he was only in his underwear, wasn't he?
Uh-huh.
As he does that,
Oh.
he's like, oh, shit, that was stupid.
Did you want the blade back?
We'll give it back to you.
Please. That would be very helpful. I completely forgot he was in his underwear.
Go,
So did I.
Pearl, do you want to retrieve it for him?
Pearl will go get the
No,
blade
no,
and
no,
give
no,
it back.
not you. Not you. Somebody who isn't blood related to that bastard. You. Shark Girl. You do it.
The name is Shara. Nice to meet you. Okay. She goes and
First
tugs
mate.
the blade
And, he,
out of the
Not
the
sure.
wall and hands it over.
and as you pull it out, you can see clearly that the blade is poisoned.
Okay, I avoid touching any of the sharp, poisonous parts as I pull it out of the wall,
Mhm.
and delicately hand it back to him so none of the sharp, poisonous parts are pointed at him when he grabs it.
And he takes it and he pops the blade back in and just holds it pointing at Pearl.
That's pretty cool. Do you think whoever made that could do that with like an axe?
I don't know.
Pearl sits down on the floor.
So let's get this over with. What? That's my question. What happened?
Oh, hold on, one second before we really get into this. I'm gonna turn over to look at the cleric. How much do we owe you so you can, go away?
He just raises his hand, shakes his head. You don't need to pay me anything. Don't worry. My lips are sealed. This looks to be internal conflict, and well, I don't want any of that.
Oh, okay, cool. Hey, thanks for the help.
Oatiel, bless your journeys.
Yours as well.
Thank you, sir.
Just leaves the room. Well, you could see just a look of utter confusion on his face.
It's probably for the best.
So,
Should we?
I guess the starting question is, how did you end up turned to stone, stuffed in a bag?
Well, a
I
coffin,
was
actually, when
stuffed
we found him.
in a bag?
Yeah, that was my
Oh.
doing. So we
But he
needed
was
to
in a-
carry you.
Wasn't he in a coffin, though, when we found him under the bed there, Shara?
No, I think he was just hiding under
box?
there.
He was in a chest.
He
Sorry.
had been put into something under
Yeah,
the
there was a
bed.
chest.
How were you
Yeah.
turned to stone, stuffed in a box? That's a good place to start.
Oh, I didn't know I was stuffed in a box. Turned
Well,
to stone.
you were.
Someone slipped a cockatrice into my room. Into my bed, actually. And when I pulled the covers back, well, it bit me. Dorktails, thank you for that raid.
Okay, well that answers the stone question.
Speaking of that, do any of you have clothes? This is kind of embarrassing just standing here in my underwear.
As the two barbarians are sitting there going
With the monk.
right.
No, but there's like bed sheets and shit. You could just like wrap around yourself.
And I have
Yeah,
your,
this might help, and I'm gonna pull a flask out and take a drink myself, then offer it to him.
I don't need a drink right now. Like, he sets the knife down. Is like, fine, I guess I can trust you for the moment. He just takes one of the bed sheets and wraps it around him like in a toga. All right, less embarrassing.
So
We have seen you in the underwear and stone form for quite some
That
time now.
doesn't help my self-image here. Okay, thank you.
Oh, hold on
I
a second.
mean,
I may have some clothes for you. I'm gonna reach into the crab bag again. I'm gonna retrieve that magical cabinet that had all of our equipment and stuff in it that fell off of the flying thing.
Mhm.
Just see if there's like some ordinary clothing in there. Because we never really checked everything that was in there.
When you look in there, yes, there are definitely clothes in this armoire that was converted into like a weapon case.
We'll find gnome-sized ones if there is some. If not, he can just roll up the pant legs. and-
There
why do
are
I picture Char pulling stuff out, holding it up to him, and putting it back, and pulling out another one?
Yeah,
And
there,
putting it back, and pulling out another one.
you find like a shirt and a pair of slacks and whatnot. At least it's very mismatched, but you know it's better than a bedsheet toga. And he quickly changes clothes and he's like, okay, well, at least you have the decency to clothe your prisoners before you interrogate them, so I guess you're on the up and up.
you're not a prisoner. We just don't want you to die before we get information.
And we're not interrogating you. We're going to ask some questions. Your choice on whether or not you answer them. We're
Okay, shoot. I don't have anywhere I can go, and this room is probably the safest place in Tidelight right now.
So you obviously know him.
Goldspar? Yes, I know him very well. I was a fleet captain of his for 20 years.
What's making you so wary of him? What happened
When?
with that?
When
Oh, that's a good
what?
question.
20 years when?
When
What year do
were
you think it is?
That's a very good question.
It's still 60, isn't it?
Does anyone
Look at
remember what year it
Pearl.
is?
It's 60.
Alright. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
you're in the
forgot.
right
I
year.
forgot what the people of Tidelight, or not Tidelight, but the Tricorn called it. But it would be 60 AC after continuance in the rest of the world.
Okay, so at least you're in the right year, which is a
Oh,
good thing.
thank the gods. I didn't know how long I was down, but at least I haven't lost too much time. That,
So,
What
that
makes
means
you so wary of gold?
maybe I'll be able to see my wife and children again.
so what do you know about Goldspar? Tell us what you know.
Aside from that, he's a backstabbing bastard who will happily scuttle one of his ships to keep one of his dirty little secrets hidden.
Do you know what
Scuttle
the
your
secret is?
ship. What were you carrying?
Wasn't what we were carrying, is what we had carried previously.
What had you carried?
He wanted a druid that he knew kept silent. Said that the druid had found information out about him in the company, and it was in everyone's best interest if this druid just vanished. He had a
What?
he had an island prison set up to extremely north from here, near the edge of the storm itself.
You don't have to happen to remember the name of this druid.
I wasn't given a name, just it was a druid.
And where did you deliver the druid?
You have a map.
Looks at Pearl.
Pearl rummages in her never-ending bag, pulls out a map.
Okay. And since you do have a map, you guys are on the map page, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So it is most definitely that island that you had heard that Pearl's mentor was delivered to previously.
Okay. So that's to the west and north. Well, north of Asborough and west of Crone's
Tidelight.
Cauldron.
Yeah, and west of Crone's Cauldron.
Yeah. Okay. So, may I ask just a small question, or will you not speak?
Well, you are asking all the questions here, so what's one more?
How did you manage to capture a druid who has a druid circle?
We didn't manage to capture anything. He was delivered chained, gagged, and bagged, and we were just to transport him.
Do you want to describe who delivered him? What did they look like?
I didn't see them. That was my quartermaster who took the druid on board.
And he went down with the ship. Unfortunately, he was not lucky enough to have encountered a cockatrice.
I
No.
would assume most of them weren't.
Do you know anything else about Goldspar?
What else do you want to know?
Ship? Anything. You're severely mistrusting of Pearl, which tells me,
Yeah.
is this all
and,
stem from that one event, or is there multiple?
It's just, I'm sorry, family. Normally, if he's like this, I can assume the rest of his family is too. The Goldspars really don't have that much of a reputation of being on the up and up in the fleet society. Very money-centric.
What is the reputation?
Backstabbers. Willing to pay blood money to be able to get on the upside. I'm wording that wrong, but to get in, using blood money to gain an advantage over their competitors. Your grandfather, you know or not, has had multiple families and businesses destroyed if they even raised an ounce of competition towards him. How he's been able to amass such power is beyond me. But he always had the coin to pay the best of the best of the worst of the worst.
So his dealings are not exactly on the honest side.
Honest is not a word I would use to describe him, no.
As the conversation's going on, Pearl is looking sort of more and more amazed, distressed, like this is all news to her. Like, she's like, how did I not know this?
And he kind of looks at you and picks up on your confusion. Miss, you can't hold it against yourself. As much of a backstabbing bastard as that grandfather of yours is, he wears masks very well. Sure, he's
Well-
regarded in high society as a pillar of the community. But in the profession, everyone knows him as a backstabbing snake.
Pearl just looks distressed. Disappointed. But anything else you can tell us that might be helpful?
I don't even know what you're looking for. I mean, I've told you this man is scum and what he's done to other people, what he did to us, what he did to your mentor.
My stepbrother.
What about him?
Is he cut from the same cloth then as my grandfather?
Don't know, really haven't had any interaction with the boy. All of our orders came from the fleet owner.
I've got a question, if I may. I've been thinking about what we kind of read about in that journal, which I assume is your journal. I think we have your journal. You are Barnaby Hackranch, right?
That is me, former captain.
Yeah, sorry, we read your journal.
Look, I was a statue. I don't care.
Fair. So you were supposed to drop the druid off at the island.
Oh, we did. We did.
Then come back to Tidelight, but your ship was sunk before you got back to Tidelight.
Oh no, we made it back to Tidelight and we were paid very well for our service, but some of the crew had some misgivings of abandoning a individual on what would pretty much be an abandoned island. And well, then I guess Goldspar decided that those individuals would have loose lips and word would get out, so he decided to silence the lot of us.
Do you know how he decided to do that? Like what method was used to sink your ship?
I would assume the cargo that we were carrying at the time, very highly explosive ordnance, was used to punch a hole in the cargo bay. I don't know, when I was still flesh, we were still sailing.
Why do you think you were petrified and not just allowed to die with the rest of the crew?
That I don't know. Maybe some twisted reward of so many years of service. I get the fast end while everyone else drowns.
Or maybe... Now, this may just seem like a conspiracy theory, but maybe it was done to save you. Maybe it wasn't done by somebody trying to kill you. Maybe somebody petrified you to save you, stop you from dying with the rest of the crew, hoping that somebody like us would come across you to eventually turn you back into a person.
That is a very, very tall tale. I doubt anybody snuck a cockatrice into my quarters in order to save me.
I mean, they
Yeah,
just as easily could have snuck something in that would poison you and kill you.
And I mean, earlier today, we didn't expect a hag to rip off our rudder, but here we are.
Hag to rip off your rudder.
That is a story.
Don't want to get into
What
that.
are these
Trust me.
times coming to? The hags are now this far down south?
I think we were a unique case. They had incentive.
Sure. That journal of Barnaby's. Remember when can you pull it out?
I could, but it's in your bag, and I don't want to rifle through your things.
I thought it was in the bag.
Nope,
No.
you got it.
Okay, so Pearl rustles through, Pearl finds the journal. Can we remember what page we were reading just before? the accident? What was written there?
I mean, I couldn't tell you.
I
But I
thought
do
there
have
was
it.
something about a captain and then another captain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pearl's rifling back and forth, trying to find the page.
Surprise you
I
might.
remember.
The page isn't there.
I'm
As the book begins to like tremble in your hands.
Oh, okay.
What's happening?
Pearl grabs her compass. What's going on with the compass?
Compass is fine.
Can I not open the journal now? And like
You
what?
open it, and you're flipping the pages, and you can't find that page itself that was speaking about the other captain or the other entity that was on the ship. And as you're flipping through the pages, the book begins to tremble nervously as all of the ink begins to melt off of the pages. And then the pages themselves just burst into flames.
Pearl drops it. Barnaby, had you put a spell or something on your book? I'm sorry. I know maybe I shouldn't have been.
And he's kind of like looking at it flabbergasted as well. You sure that's my journal? I'm no spell slinger, and I don't trust any enchanted things. Wizards are not good for anything.
Well, we retrieved it from your cabin.
Well, ain't mine.
Is there anything left of the journal?
There's
Or is it just-
there's like the outer like leather binding.
My.
I mean, if I was going to off someone, or at least turn them to stone, wouldn't you want to wait and know if someone woke them up? I wonder if that's what that was.
You know that idea you had, Shar, about somebody trying to save Bruce here and Captain Hackrench. And I mean, it kind of would fit that maybe that's kind of like an alarm that he's awake, which may not necessarily be a good thing.
I think it's time for Captain Hackbench here to maybe leave town.
Yeah, I'll go get Bryant and see if
Look.
Anastasia can arrange something.
I can't leave
And
without
get
I can't leave without my family.
Your family.
Tell me where to find them, I'll bring them here. As I'm the only one that can walk the streets right now.
He kind of looks a little more concerned at that comment.
As far as we know, Echo's the only one that can walk the streets. We haven't really, we just got here too, and we didn't leave on the best terms. So we got
Most of us are supposed to be dead.
Yeah, feel things out before we just go wandering around.
Let's see. Yes. Well, if you're willing to, I'm sorry. Do any of you have any paper? I'm going to need to write a note explaining what's going on.
Pearl hands
Please
over,
do.
reaches in her bag, hands over paper, pens, whatever he needs.
Thank you. Starts quickly writing something down.
Do you have anything I can take with me that might prove that this is from you and not someone forging it?
Don't worry.
Just his underwear and his knife.
Yeah, that's all I have. Well, and these gaudy clothes. So thank you, by the way. Folds up the paper and hands it to Echo. Don't read it.
Echo, perhaps when you visit his family, see if you can get him some proper clothes.
I was planning on it. I'm
We
sorry,
do
but you
have
look
our-
awful.
Oh,
We all do
no,
have
trust
our
me,
dignity.
I wouldn't be caught dead wearing these if it was my choice.
Bad
And where
choice
can I
of
find them?
words.
They're in the beach-facing area of the residential square. House 35. Yes, 35 is the address.
I'm
Alright.
going. If you and Shara will stay here, I'm going to go down and explain to Bryant and Anastasia what's happened and make sure we can get him safe passage to somewhere. And if
Yeah.
that's the best thing to do.
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk Echo to the front door and then I'll come back up.
Okay, and maybe we could see about some sort of spell of protection for the family or something.
Echo's standing at the window, about to pop it open when Shara says that, and she just closes it and turns around and walks back towards the door.
I'd hate to intrude, but can one of you bring me something to eat? I'm starving.
I'll bring some. If you trust me, I will bring something when I come back.
Look, I don't really have much of a choice. You're the only ones not trying to kill me at the moment.
Feelings mutual.
So, who's walking downstairs?
I'm going downstairs to speak with Bryant and Anastasia and get a breakfast tray and go
I'm
back up.
walking downstairs with Echo to the front door.
Though, I'm not sure if we want to leave just Muir in the room with him.
I can take
Muir's a capable bunny.
I could
Okay.
take him.
You're to take me.
So, those of you who are walking downstairs,
Aim for the knees if he tries to leave.
as you leave the main suite of Wyvern's Bounty, you hear a bit of muffled arguing downstairs.
Can I
Drop.
hear what's being said?
You can once you start getting closer to the landing itself, or the landing of the top part of the stairs. As you hear Brian's like, "Look, I've told you time and time, there ain't but anybody here with that description. I don't care who you are or who paid you. We don't have any patrons at this time."
Or two.
And there's another voice that comes out, a very, very important, like self-important sounding voice. "Boy, I don't care what you say. I had reports that she had landed. My employees saw her come to this establishment. Now, enough with the delays and the lies. Bring me my granddaughter."
Look over at Pearl and raise my eyebrow, trying to convey a question of, you want to go out there or we want to hit the road?
Pearl freezes and motions that she's going back to the room and that maybe we should all go back. And, points down to her feet to indicate we need to go quietly.
And if you are attempting to go quietly, I need a stealth roll.
I'm just wondering if I can do... Yes, I'm going to cast Pass Without Trace
Okay.
before we move.
So go ahead and add
So-
10 to that.
Yeah.
Probably a good idea. That Ivy just betrayed me. Not terribly, just a little.
And that would be stealth.
Yep.
Mhm.
Stealth and add 10.
That would be a 29 for Pearl.
A dirty 20 for Echo. Horribly low for me.
So I rolled a natural one for a total of 12. Um, can I follow it up with a performance roll to try and twist the outcome?
So I will explain what happens and you can tell me how you are going to try to twist the outcome.
Okay.
So in a panic, like hearing the voices and the arguments, Pearl telling everyone to get back and everything, Shara trips over her feet and begins to tumble down the stairs. Or trip her way down the stairs, but it is very she starts to tumble and everything. Thankfully the Pass Without Trace is hiding the sound at this point in time. So the sight of a giant shark person starting to tumble down the stairs and go over the landing, the middle landing, isn't really something that could be hidden. But Shara, how do you want to sell this as you come tumbling down into sight of the people downstairs? And what you see is another gnome dressed in a very regally looking black and gold suit. On his hand are like a number of jewel encrusted rings. He's got this jet black hair that it seems very vibrant, like almost just like this unnatural sheen to it. It's a very full beard as well. And flanking on either side of him are two individuals dressed in like this strange, like gem embroidered armor. Like every facet of it seems to have a gem somewhere. Even the hilts of the blades that they carry have gems embedded into the pommels. Both of these individuals look to be human.
So
And he kind of like looks around Bryant, seeing you stumbling down the stairs.
My hope is to play it off like I had just tripped over like a crumpled carpet or something at the top of the stairs and came tumbling down, and act as though like I'm under Bryant's employ and I'm going to get mad at Bryant over the disarray of the carpet and stuff upstairs.
Okay. I want you to give me a deception roll for this.
Deception. Okay,
before you make any
as
sort of comment.
Not going to roll the 20 that gave me a 1. Okay. That's good for Shara. It's a 14.
So what do you say as you come stumbling and crashing into the like the middle landing, like bracing yourself on the banister? By the way, you are going to take 6 points of bludgeoning damage from your little tumble down the stairs.
That's fair. So wherever I happen to have like hit myself the hardest as I go tumbling down the stairs, I'm gonna kind of like keel over a little bit at the bottom of the stairs and rubbing that part of my body and be like, oh fuck, Bryant, I have told you time and time again not to put those fucking carpets at the top of the stairs. This is like the 3rd time that's happened. What the oh, you have company.
He kind of looks around Bryant, staring at you, and then back up to Bryant. Now, I thought you said you didn't have guests. What is that?
I'm not a guest. I work here.
You work here?
Yeah.
Miss, where is your uniform? You can't lead me to believe that this is the uniform of a employee of such a renowned tavern.
No, it's not. But we don't have any guests right now, so I was just kind of going casual. I wasn't supposed to come downstairs today. I'm sorry, Bryant. I'm sorry. I can go back upstairs if you want.
Now, miss, just hold on a moment. I seem to maybe have overstepped my bounds. So, I would like to purchase some beverages for my employees here and a room, if you will. I would like to rest. Your finest room, please. I will take no less. And you can see that Brian has a look of concern on his face because he knows he's been caught. He's now trapped in his lie of not being able or not having any guests. As you wish, Mr. Goldspar. Anastasia, you get the suite room key, please. Shara, if you're done tripping over the carpets, please go upstairs, make sure the suite is ready.
Yeah, sorry, I was actually just cleaning out that room. I've got the key. I left it upstairs. I'll go finish the job and bring it right down. I'm sorry, Brian. It won't happen again.
It's okay. Just and put something on while you're at it.
Yeah, okay. I mean, did the bigger uniforms come in yet? Because those other ones are real tight on me.
They might check the storeroom once you're done.
Okay. Thanks. Sorry again, everybody. I'm sorry. And she'll scurry upstairs.
So the two of you make it back to the room just fine. Jara, on the other hand, taking a tumble, pretty much clambers back up.
Eka would have kept going, leaving. Chara can handle herself. She wants to get Gnome Boy out of here, so she would have headed for the room and be like, "We're going right now. Come on, you're going with us. You do not want to know who's downstairs. Let's go."
Wait. Who's downstairs?
We'll tell you after we go. Come on, out. We're going out this window right now.
You want me to go out that window?
Would you rather meet her grandfather?
He's downstairs.
Let's go.
As he grabs his knife and begins walking towards the door.
He has bodyguards. You are not going to be able to stop him.
I don't need to stop him. I just need to shoot him once.
Yeah, do you want your entire family to die in the process? Because if you miss, or they don't, and they kill you, they will go after your family next, and you know it.
And you're gonna have to get in line to kill my grandfather, it seems. Mir, dissuade the gentleman.
He kind of like
Hackranch from
after
going downstairs, please.
After you mention his family being in danger if he misses, he sighs and tucks the knife away into one of the pockets of the pants that he's wearing. Fine, we go out the window, but how are we going to get down? We're on the second floor.
I have rope. You any good at rope climbing?
He's a sailor, of course.
Madam, I've been on a ship most of my life. Of course I'm good at rope climbing.
Very well. Mira, if you don't mind holding the top and then hopping down after us.
Happily.
And I'm going to crank the other, and I'm just going to leap out the window since I can, was it? What do they call it for the monk thing? The slow fall for the monk? Reduce my damage.
Not
I'm just gonna
feather
jump
fall.
out the window.
Not feather fall.
Not feather fall. But I will slow fall.
Okay.
So that I don't take the damage.
Do we have something we can tie that rope to so the last person down?
You have a bunny.
We have a bunny.
Should be able to.
Yeah, the bunny can just hop down.
Yeah, okay.
Bunny can jump over buildings.
And as you begin to like scurry out the window, you begin hearing the footsteps of a certain annoyed gnome now coming down the hall. Now, I know it doesn't take this long to get a key and make sure that the room is ready. As soon as Mir is out the window, and Shara, you're in there alone now. You hear a thud as he tries to kick the door open, and the door doesn't give.
I'm sorry, who's there?
The one who's paying for this room. Now, you gonna let me in, or is this just another example of this tavern shoddy business?
I'll let you in. Just 1 minute. The room's not ready yet, though.
I mean, at least the bed's already a mess since we messed the sheets.
He's like, want something done, you need to do it yourself. And you just hear him mutter a command word as the door is just blasted open. And you can see the ring on his middle, the middle finger on his right hand, so the light just slowly dying down. As he walks in, he's like, well, at least the room is up to par. My key, please, ma'am.
Shara's just there on her knees beside the bed, trying her damnedest to get the fitted sheet to stay on the bloody mattress.
That's impossible. That's impossible. I anyone who can do that without any problems, that's just witchcraft.
I mean, you put your hand where the triangle keeps being in.
For that.
There's a way.
She just kind of looks over in a little bit of shock at what he just did. The key is on the desk over there. I'm sorry. I'm new. I don't really know how these work.
It's fine. It's fine. Nobody knows how those work. He walks over to the key and he grabs it. And he points a ring at it, and he mutters another command word as you see a green light emanating out of the ring on his ring finger on the right hand. And as it emanates, the ring glows for just a moment. And then there's a slight trail that sort of zigzags around the room and then goes out the window.
I'm sorry, sir. I don't think you're allowed to do that unless you put down an additional deposit.
Oh, it's okay. And he tosses the key onto the table. I'll be leaving. I am sorry to offend.
Oh, wait,
leaves.
Hold on, sir.
He just starts walking down the hallway.
I chase after him.
It's very easy to catch up to him. He's got small legs.
I'm sorry. I can't let you leave without speaking to Bryant about the damage you just caused to that door.
He looks back. Ain't no damage to that door. Simple knock spell.
It was closed and locked, and
then I opened it.
I saw was you threw some
as he just holds up his fist, and I opened it.
I'm sorry, sir. Are you threatening me? Am I going to have to get the guard?
Ma'am, you have one chance to let me leave unopposed, or this is going to be very painful very fast.
That was most certainly a threat. Sir, what is your name so I can report you to the guard?
As he holds up his left hand and points it at you, as you can see 3 rings on it begin to glow. I am your better. Now leave. Shara?
Yeah.
I need a wisdom saving throw from you.
Okay, sir. Wisdom's not terrible. It's gonna be a 15.
Okay. So you just feel yourself shunted as you are now in an alley somewhere in Tide Light as you crash into a pile of crates.
Just a random alley somewhere. I think she just kind of sits there, stunned, shocked, surprised, having no idea what just happened. But also hoping that she bought enough time for the rest of the crew to get out of there.
The rest of the crew, As all of you make it down to the floor, or down to the street itself of Tide Light, you see a bright light emanating from the upstairs window that you had just escaped. And then you hear Redding's voice sort of booming out from the tavern. Put the drinks down. She was here.
Look over at Pearl. Does he have some way of knowing you were there?
Well, yeah, I think so. Like if he's got, this is kind of odd. As I say, my grandfather is not maybe what I thought, but he must have some magical way to track me, but I'm not sure what he would need to do that. And the thing that kind of scares me is, what does he want with me? Oh boy. And
I think,
if I turn myself over to him, can I buy you guys some time? I don't know.
I think,
Or does that make it worse? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Pearl is just doing her dither. She's just about levitating. She's just...
I'm gonna look over at the other gnome, but I think you should head to
He's
your
already
family now and
gone.
be away from us. Okay.
The moment
good,
his feet hit the street, he ran. He didn't even wait for anybody. He just took
Perfect.
off.
Well, Pearl, there's no reason why we can't wait if you want to talk with your grandfather, or we could just keep moving. He can't locate you if you keep moving.
I don't think he kind of wants to just talk.
Alright, let's keep moving then. She's gonna grab her and we're walking, just trying to put distance.
That to me doesn't have the tone of oh, my lovely missing granddaughter, I want to see her. Just saying.
It sounded a little more murdery and a little less missing.
And then as we're walking, I want to open that note from the gnome to his family. I would like to give it a quick glance over and see what he said in it.
It was just, it's pretty much a note explaining as to what happened and full of apologies and I love yous and please don't be too mad at me's.
Sappy. Well, at least that wasn't a trap.
Now, are you walking off or are you running?
Probably moving as quickly as we can without drawing more attention to ourselves.
Okay.
Unless Pearl wants to run.
Pearl is going to wild shape.
Okay.
One second here. Something fast, preferably, so that, because I don't think her walking speed is stellar. Short legs and all that. Let me just see here.
Yeah, if we can get you to something faster. I think Mir has an increased speed, and so do I.
Okay. My speed is 30, but let's see if I can find something that would move me faster and make me less noticeable.
As you are thinking of that, the doors to the Wyvern's Bounty burst open and Redding comes just like stomping out, flanked by the two humans who sort of look a little sad that they couldn't finish their drinks. And he begins to like scan the street. Like they were over this way somewhere.
I'm actually
don't want to use this, but
I think I'm gonna go for a frog and jump into somebody's pocket.
Those of you who are on the street who don't wild shape into a frog, you see him holding just this iron ball in his hands. He like scans the crowd. I don't see her.
Keep moving, holding this frog.
No, I've jumped in a pocket.
Okay.
Whose pocket did you jump into?
Pick one.
Probably the only person with pockets.
Yeah, the person with pockets. Does Rabbit have pockets? I'm going for Echo.
Yeah.
It would be Echo.
So I'm doing what I can to not jostle that pocket too much. So I'm probably like holding that pocket steady.
And oh no, sorry, you're not there because you got kind of shunted. Like
Sure did.
proprietary property. As he whispers something into the ball, and he just throws it into the middle of the street. And as those of you you're walking away, you begin hearing the click and clatter of gears and metal turning as this medium-sized like spider creature forms out of this ball and begins running down the street. And slowly but surely you notice that it's locked onto you.
Locked onto
Yeah, probably.
Echo. Yeah.
Echo. Oh crap.
As Echo, you notice this thing start to gain speed.
Well, I'm going to. Let's see, what is it? Just out of curiosity to see how fast it can go. So I have a movement speed of 45. I'm sorry, Mir, because I'm just going to leave you in the dust for a moment. I'm going to also use a key point step of the wind so that I can move my full, movement dash step of the wind.
Yep.
So I think that's 90. What? Is step of the wind double once you've done your dash, or?
So Step of the Wind allows you to dash as a bonus action, basically, which means using your bonus action and action, you can double dash in a round. So that'll take your 45 to 90, and the dash again will take your 90 to 180.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. So I'm going to move 180 feet in a round in 6 seconds. See if this thing can keep up.
Pick the right pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I will do whatever acrobats I do have to do to dodge people.
Hope you have a button on that pocket.
I just need a dex check.
I'm
from
holding
you.
that pocket.
I just need a dex check from you to see if you're able to get around these crowds without bumping into anybody going that fast.
That's a 17.
You're good.
Okay.
So as the moment you activate Monk Sonic the Hedgehog mode and start tearing ass down the street, Mir, that little bot runs by you. And see, like, now noticing how fast she's moving, it sort of leaps into the air. You see like a little gyrocopter blade come out of the top of it as it starts flying after them.
Smash it. So if I see it like keeping pace, I'm not more bothered doing it again because I don't want to burn all my key points. But
Mir, is there anything you wanted to do?
Yes. Yes, there is. As it's taking off and its little blades are coming out, I am going to hop up and aim directly at the little rotor blades and bun smash.
Okay.
Yes.
do it.
Somebody's phone vibrating.
Nope.
No.
Oh, it's just part of the music. Okay. It sounded like a cell phone vibrating, like somebody was getting a text message.
Oh.
All right, go ahead and make an attack roll for bun smash.
That is 22 to hit.
22 will hit.
I need... Yeah, one of those. Nice. Please. That's not great. That is 9 damage?
Okay. So you tink this thing in midair as it's trying to fly, dealing the 9 damage, and it kind of like spirals out of control and slams into a wall of a building, and you can see the gyrocopter blades kind of spin, like hitting the building itself and snapping off as it falls to the ground. and it kind of like staggers up to its feet, and it looks at you, like its front legs coming up like a spider, like showing agitation, and then a small blue like crystal appears from an opening in its chest as it shoots this just ice blue beam towards you. If I can get a dexterity saving throw from you.
Absolutely get a dex save. It's a 17.
17, okay. You're gonna take 8 points of cold damage as you jump out of the way of this, as this blue line just sort of streaks out of it and slams into a pile of crates behind you. As you can see, the crates are now encased in like a thin layer or a thick layer of ice.
Oh, that's rude.
And it's like almost as soon as it shot that beam, it begins to run off again.
Oh, well, I am going to... I'm going to chase after it. Trying to keep a little more to the... Because I imagine the roofs around here are not terribly tall on most of the houses.
Most of the buildings in here are about second or not second, but two-story buildings at the moment. Because you're more still in like a business area. There's still a lot of taverns and shops that are about here. So they're about two stories.
All right. Well, in that case, we are absolutely going to be going for higher ground.
Okay. So you do like your bunny stuff and hop up the walls and up onto the roof to begin to follow this thing. Echo and Pearl are running off. As this is going on, Shara, you dig yourself out of these crates as you hear him just like, Shara? Are you okay?
I'm not sure.
You don't look drunk. Why are you laying in a bunch of
drunk.
broken crates?
Would you believe I was in a building like half a second ago?
You know, with everything we've been through so far, yeah, I probably believe it.
Yeah, I got hit by like some weird ass magic, man.
Ah. Anything I can help with?
You can tell me where I am.
He's like, he kind of points back at the door. We're at the Black Lung Bar.
Oh. Could do with a drink.
And you know that's on the complete other side of Tide Light.
Okay, that could have gone really bad for me. Because if I got shunted out of Tide Light, I think I'd be dead right now. And you know what? I think I'm gonna have to hold off on that drink. I've got business to attend to. Good seeing you again, Pim.
Look, if magic shunted you across the city, that means you're in trouble, right? And
like
if
perpetually
you are in trouble, that means the rest of the senior crew are in trouble, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm coming with you. He sort of like hold on a second. He runs into the bar and comes back, and is dragging this like hefty like half axe, half a hammer with him.
Okay. So here's the deal. I like your enthusiasm, and I'm gonna put you to work. So I need you to go find Echo and Pearl and Muir. I'll tell you where I last saw him, and I'll direct him to the inn that we were just at, because I don't know if he's been there before. That's where I saw them last. They were making a getaway we fixed the garden gnome, and I against.
And he looks at you completely confused as he has no idea what you mean by the garden gnome.
And I'm not going to explain it either.
Wait, somebody's upset at you because you fixed a lawn ornament?
Yeah, well, we turned it back into a person.
I'm sorry, what? You're telling me that lawn gnomes are just petrified gnomes?
Yeah, this one was.
Canada now.
Oh man,
I
I have to write home to Mom. We've got about 15 of those at home.
Yeah, you might want to look into where you got them from.
Oh, she's going to be terrified.
But more important stuff at the moment. I need you to go find them. That's where I saw them last, and I am gonna go against every natural fiber of my being and go to the guards barracks because I need to report a crime. Ugh, I feel dirty even saying that.
Normally, I'm the one being reported.
Arno's gonna run in. They're gonna be like, "Arrest her!" Wait.
It's
hold
like,
on.
yeah. Oh, Shara, your usual cell.
Yeah, I doubt that they're actually gonna do anything, but maybe they'll send, like a token guard out to go talk to this Goldspar guy and delay him just a little bit longer.
Goldspar?
Yeah,
Reading Goldspar.
He's the one that magicked me.
Reading Goldspar's a wizard?
He's a dick is what he is.
Well, yeah, of course, but... Huh. Well, if there's wizards involved, and, well, you got shunted.
He was using, like, rings.
Normal
so
me,
he might be like a
he
wannabe
pulls out a knife. He's like, normal me ain't gonna work. And he just jams the knife into his forearm and just drags it all the way to, like, the tip of his middle finger. As he grows into his, like, ogre form again. But as he does, you notice, like, multiple runic tattoos are now, like, embedded into his arms.
There he is.
Gonna have to go all out for this one. What do you want me to do if I run into him?
Okay, don't engage Goldspar directly. I need you just to make sure that our friends get to safety.
Gotcha. Keep him safe.
Yes, keep them safe. Don't get killed or like, I don't know, turned into a chicken or something.
I won't mess with Goldspar. I'll keep an eye out for the crew.
Okay. I'm trusting you, Pim.
He just kind of slings the like the hammer axe up onto his back. He's like, gotta get my casting stick. All right.
Right.
I'll see you later. And he kind of bends his feet down and he just leaps and like grabs onto like the building halfway up and begins to climb it as he starts just running across the rooftops.
I'm gonna do some training with that guy. Fuck, where even is the guards barracks? Usually I'm being dragged there.
You are
You're usually
familiar
drunk.
enough with being dragged out of so many bars and fighting pits. You know exactly where you are from the Black Lung bar to where the guards barracks is. You have probably on foot, probably about an hour walk.
I'm gonna dash my way there.
Okay.
Get there as quickly as I possibly can. I don't have any sort of fancy magic or anything to get me quicker, so I just have to go on foot. Maybe if I see like a, I don't know, carriage or something that's moving quicker than I am, I'll hop on the back and get a lift there.
You can
but,
most definitely do that. This during around this time of day, the streets of Tide Light are busy with carts and whatnot. You can easily hop a ride on some of those.
That's my intent.
And as you get in like onto it and you hop onto one of these carts, you can see Pim jumping across the building and just landing hard into it as it like breaks off some of the not the railing, but the edging of the roof. And you can just see like plaster kind of flying everywhere as he's running without any sort of intent to be silent. And you know that boy is leaving footprints in ceilings.
and I am just watching with pure adoration and a twinkle in my eye.
Freaking pin.
As
So,
Echo, I was trying to remember your name.
Yeah.
I almost called you Nalani.
no, she dead.
She did.
No, she's a bird.
As I'm running, I'd like to redirect, and I'm going to head towards the bay.
Okay.
Knowing that this thing is seemed mechanical, that was coming for me, and the person behind us is gnome. He's not really a water creature. I'm going for the water, because I know one. Now I'm forgetting names. Pearl can move really fast in the water. I don't have to breathe underwater because I have an undeep breath, so we can get under the water. I don't have to come back up.
I don't have to breathe because I'm a monk and it's bullshit.
No, that's because I am a Ganassi and it's bullshit.
I'm a Ganassi and it's bullshit.
Thank you, Jin Daddy.
We both have Ganassi bullshit for that, so.
Yes.
I mean,
So
honestly, that should be the ship's name, is just Ganassi bullshit.
I also am currently in frog form, so it's all
Yeah.
All right, so
I'm going for the bay
you
as
run and
quickly as
you
I can.
redirect to the bay.
If that thing seems to be getting really close to me, I will kick off another key point. I don't want it to catch me before I
Funny
hit the water.
enough, like once you started sprinting off, you seriously, you don't see it anymore.
I'm still going.
Okay.
Because I don't want to risk it, just in case it's going to catch up. If it's, I know she's magically being tracked.
Mir, the
How is its flying circumstance at the moment?
Non-existent. It's running on the ground because when you hit it and slammed it against that wall, I made a saving throw for the blades and got a 1. So the blades are busted. Its little gyrocopter attachment is no longer a thing. So it's now got to scurry on the ground and on the walls, and it looks like it still has a sense of where Pearl is, but it is not fast enough to catch up.
Am I keeping up nicely? I do have a 40-foot movement.
Yeah, you're actually at this point in time outpacing it. Like every time, like round wise, you're outpacing it by like 10 feet every time.
Perfect. At some point in there, I am going to line myself up to hop off the roof and slam my axe down into it again, hopefully breaking a leg or two.
Okay, go ahead and give me an attack roll.
That is a 24.
That'll hit.
And that is max damage for 14 points.
And then another 2-story buildings are usually how tall? 20 feet?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
2 stories, yeah.
Yeah, so another 2d6 damage from you falling on it.
And I get a second attack if I have the option.
How much damage you deal to it?
14.
14, and then another 6, so a total of 20 damage as you go and you just bury your axe into the back of this thing, as the blade and the weight of you coming down on it has it pinned to the ground, as its legs are like flopping out trying to pull itself, but it's not it's not going to get away from you.
Well, in that case, I'd like to hop up and slam down on the hilt of my axe and continue the process.
Okay, go ahead and give me another attack roll.
That is a 23 to hit.
A 23 will most definitely hit.
And it's another 9 points of damage.
You crush this thing as its body is now just split completely in two. And you notice as that axe comes down and you're looking at this creature or this little mechanical thing, that it was a good thing that you finished it off as you did, as you notice that small openings had opened along either side of it, and there were these tiny vials of this very violent orange liquid slowly being released out of its body.
And since I've got it nicely under control, I would really like to steal the thing, that crystal out of it.
Okay. How are you going to steal the crystal out of it? How are you going about this?
I'm going to nicely pry it out with a paw, and if that doesn't work, we're going to use the axe blade as leverage and rip it out.
Okay. So you go to reach out to like touch this crystal, and it is painfully cold. To the point where you take 7 cold damage just touching it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Paw.
1, 2, 3. Then in that case, we're going to take basically the top tip of the axe, wedge it behind it, and just pull down and rip it out.
All right, go ahead and give me a strength check.
Ooh. You know, I did this whole thing without raging.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. That's an 18.
An 18? Yeah, you pop it out. And as you do, you hear there's like an audible hiss as the brilliance from the gem sort of dies down, and it just becomes like this very clear crystal.
No keeping it.
Trophy, if nothing else.
Is it still cold?
It's not as cold as it was. It seems as soon as like you popped the crystal and part of the bot out, the cold started to die down rather quickly.
Okay. Well, technology is not my strong suit, so
Breaking it is.
that's a hobby. Okay. Well, I'm taking that and we're leaving.
Okay.
I'm just gonna kick the thing to the side of the road. Go over there. I don't want that.
Some street urchins can sell it for scrap.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Pearl and Echo. As you are making your way around a bend, and like you can now see the docks in front of you. You don't hear the bot behind you. There's not much of a commotion. You've run into a couple people and they've shouted some unfriendly things to you, but not too much of a commotion. But you're about to clear the alleyway that you're running out of, or when you notice that you've run in, like, well, Pearl would know this, but Echo wouldn't. But you are now in the same area, or coming into the same area where you had that fight on the dock with those individuals that previously had made you leave town for a while. But before you can, there's a shimmer that happens in front of you, Echo, as Redding and his 2 bodyguards just appear, and he holds up a hand. Now, wait a minute, miss. Don't want this to get bloody. I just need to talk.
Can I do like some sort of parkour bullshit to jump over the top of them and keep going?
Sure, give me an attempt.
Acrobatics?
Sure.
That is going to be 25.
So you run and you leap, sort of twisting yourself to clear the gnome's head and clear over the humans. And you do it with a level of grace that you're used to. But you feel something snag. as you kind of like land hard on your shoulder as you are now wrapped in a net.
Well, you can't blame me for trying. Three strange men appear in front of me.
No, my apologies. Now, I'm not here to hold you against your will or assault you in any means, but I believe you have a granddaughter of mine. He kind of like holds it. He kind of holds up a ring, and you can see just that bright green glow emanating out of one of them. Her name is Pearl.
Don't know a woman by that name.
Now, lying isn't kind, and I know you have her. The ring is leading me to her. I just need to talk to her. I am her grandfather.
Look down my person and be like, I don't see a person. Don't know what you're expecting.
She's doing that druid shit again. Come on, Pearl. Come on out. I'm not mad. Just need to talk. Need to see you're okay.
Are we on a dock right now, or are we near the water at all?
You're near the dock.
I'm going to stand up because I don't really care for...
You're sort of in the net, so you can't really stand up. They're not letting you stand up at the moment.
Can I please just stand up? I don't really prefer to have three strangers bearing down on me.
Once we have all this
Pearl
situated.
Insight check.
Yes, because you still use your wisdom.
Okay. 18.
You don't really sense any hostility in his voice. Pearl, now come on, this is unbecoming of somebody of our family. Please just come out. Let me see you're okay.
Okay, I'm gonna roll a dice. Heads all unwild shape. I stay as a frog
Okay.
at this point.
Miss, if you would be so kind as to bring out whatever my Pearl has changed herself into.
Can't do much from inside this net. You gotta let me out.
Now, I know you have room enough to move. Not enough to run.
I'm not going to run. She does mean it. She's not going to run.
To show you that I am a gentleman, motions and the net is pulled away from you.
She's going to stand up and she's going to kind of straighten herself off. And she's going to start patting down pockets, and she's going to slip off her jacket as she does it. And, like, start looking for the... around here. And as she does, she's just going to, like, throw her jacket, like she's tossing it to the side, but she's really aiming to get it into the water.
You're not close enough to the water to throw it into the water.
I'm going to get as close as I can. I'm just going to toss it over there.
Okay.
As I sit there and I keep searching my pockets. I'm honestly not sure exactly what I'm supposed to be looking for here. But... And she starts, like, emptying all the crap out of her pockets, so, you know. How come just a bunch of random shit?
And you could see that he looks very annoyed. Pearl, do not make this hard for your friend. Come on out. You know I can be reasonable. But you know I can be persuasive as well.
Are you threatening me?
Did you take your jacket off?
Yeah, I tossed it to the side, so I got you as close to the water as I could.
Okay.
I'm still just entering random shit out of my thing, you know. Darts.
Okay,
Get
Pearl
fireballings,
will
random
wild shape.
papers,
She's
flasks, more flasks,
she's
more
too
flasks.
concerned at this point about what could happen to
And-
Echo
And as
because
Yeah.
you
of
unwild
non-cooperation.
shape, he sighs in relief. He's like, there you are. My granddaughter.
I only had a frog in that pocket. I don't know where that came from. Picked up a frog. I was gonna eat frog legs on my way home.
I'm sorry, miss. She's crafty like that. Now, child, why are you running? Last I heard, you were in an altercation with a couple people on a dock, and then I don't see you for a couple weeks. Thought you were dead.
And that would matter to you, why?
Why wouldn't it matter?
Well, I mean, you know, you've never been thrilled with me before. I wouldn't exactly say that you hold me in the highest esteem.
Well, I may
Built this
have.
fabulous company. I was a purser on a ship. I've lived my own life. I've had very little to do with you.
Be that as it may, you are still family.
Unfortunately, it would seem.
Unfortunately.
I don't understand why, if you're so concerned about my welfare, you would be running around with bodyguards and weapons and trying to track me down, harming anyone who is anywhere near me, damaging an inn room, harassing innocent people.
I haven't.
Couldn't you have just sent a note and asked?
I haven't damaged
I'm just
anything, young lady.
Curious.
I
How
always
did you
travel
know I
with.
was in town?
I always travel with my bodyguards. I am a well-established businessman and a very high-priority target for thieves. In regards to how I knew you were in town, one of my employees saw you getting off a ship. They followed you and saw that you entered into the Wyvern's bounty. Unfortunately, the proprietor there decided that he needed to keep you secret. Now, I did no damage to anyone. I haven't harmed anyone. I just wanted to see if the rumors were true.
Well, so let's talk about Van first, shall we?
Oh, him again. What
Yes.
about him?
Him again. Yeah, you tell me
About what?
what you've done with him.
I haven't done a damn thing with that druid.
So where is he?
Off hugging trees for all I know.
Shall we go out in the forest and see?
I'd rather not,
Why?
because the closest forest is a 3-day trek.
Hmm.
Are you feeling all right?
Oh, I think I'm feeling just fine. I had a really good cup of coffee this morning. I'm all right. I don't think that's... So, let me ask a different question then.
Oh, you and your questions.
You bet. I haven't seen you for so long. I hear that one of your captains, what was his name? Captain Hackwrench. Yes.
Hackwrench. Hackwrench.
Shall we talk about him?
Where does that name sound? Oh, the drunk.
No.
What
I
about
don't
him?
think so. Why is he a drunk?
Because he consumes way too much alcohol. That's usually what
Don't
makes
we
one a
all?
drunk.
Echo almost pauses as she takes more drinks off of her flask. Just the smallest, like,
Let's talk about the
I-
second last trip you sent him on.
The
Where
second
did
to,
you send him?
the second to last trip I sent him on.
The one up north.
I never sent Hackwrench up north. I haven't sent him anywhere for months. The man was a drunk and was a danger to his crew. The last ship that he was on, he almost scuttled off the tip of the coast here.
You know,
Last that I knew, he was landlocked, not to be sailing with my fleet.
if I didn't know better, I'd say
Insight
you
check.
had an evil twin brother.
I don't have a brother.
Pity. I would like to do an insight check. I think he's lying through his teeth at this point.
I would like to insight check
Sure.
as well when he says.
Can we both do it?
You can both do it. Because it's not really an assist. You both are just
No, you can't really
trying to
suss
suss it out.
So, mine is only a 16.
I got a dirty 20. These nice are much nicer than
You
they were
can't
on
make
Tuesday.
heads or tails if he's
Or Monday.
lying or not.
Well, grandfather, now that you know I'm okay, we'll be going our separate ways.
Now, hold on. You ask about that druid, and then you ask about a captain, as almost as if you have some sort of accusation you want to make.
Oh, no.
Now, I know you.
No, you don't.
You stick your nose in way too much business. You ask way too many questions. You don't
I
ask
have a
questions.
curious mind.
Yes, and your curious mind isn't so easily settled after two measly sentences, especially when it comes to me. You know something, or you think you know something. So what is it? What are you planning on accusing me of this time?
This time.
Oh, please, I hear everything about how you speak of me. How I've wanted Faniver away from you all this time, that he was corrupt in your mind, that the druid studies were a waste of time. That one is true, at least. I believe that you have much more potential than being a tree hugger.
I like trees.
They make good ships.
They make good friends, too.
Now, I tell you this, I don't know what happened to him, but I'm not going to lie. I'm glad he's gone. He was a bad influence on you. Hell, he was a bad influence on a lot of people.
I think his druid circle would say otherwise.
Outside of here, but I can't say my curiosity's kicking in. Why was he a bad influence?
He was trying to keep people from sailing the seas.
Well, there's lots of people that do that.
Saying that these ships harmed the natural flow of everything, that we were doing nothing but causing damage, unhealing wounds to our islands.
Sounds like druid bullshit.
Indeed,
I've run into a
but
few druids that do that, but it doesn't matter.
he was a very influential druid. Him and that circle of his, they did some good in the city, but they were more of a problem than anything. Shame what happened to them.
What did happen to them?
Much as I disagreed with them, and as a businessman hated their practices, they came to a rather grisly end. Some say that they tried to stop the progress of the Ravon company. That never ends well for anyone. If you're looking for your friend, you might want to ask around them. They may know where he's at, but I don't.
Well,
And as this conversation is going on, Mir, you kind of find your way to the docks as well. Now,
Do I see Muir coming?
I think you see Mir once he makes himself known onto the docks, because I don't know if he's traveling streetwise or if he's, you know, doing the bunny hop across buildings.
Trying to keep an eye on what's going on. I'm going to stick to rooftops right now.
Okay. You can most definitely do that.
And I'm going to be slightly softer footed than someone else that's doing the same thing.
Now, did you still have pass? Did you get pass without trace?
That sticks with you.
That sticks with you. Yeah. They have to be within a certain range of you in order for it to gain the benefits. I think it's like
Okay.
30. I think it's like 30 feet or something like that.
Yeah. So if he's within,
He's not within 30 feet.
Oh, okay. So he's not within 30 feet, so he doesn't get that benefit. Okay.
He sort of just like straightens his coat a little bit, and he begins to walk towards Pearl as his bodyguards are following him. I just wanted to make sure that you were here and safe. Now that I know that you are, I have no business being down here.
This sounds like your family business is concluded. Might I ask a question? I was going to find someone who was more business savvy than myself to ask for some advice, but since you inconvenienced me, maybe I could ask you that? It's only a quick question.
Give me a persuasion roll.
I gotta roll high on this. Come on. 16?
Well, I did have you trapped in a net. I owe you as much to answer at least one question.
I'd been approached by an entity for a business deal, and I wasn't sure if it was a smart idea to continue on. He seemed to be, oh god, what was he? A devil, a demon, something of the sorts from another plane.
Dealing
But I hadn't really had much dealings with anything of this type being. I don't know much about them. Thinking someone with more of a business mind might tell me, well, it's a wise idea. I kind of really want to just gauge his reaction when demons and devils start getting brought up.
As you say that, he kind of like clenches his fist a bit. Now, why would someone like you ask such a question? You don't look like anything that a demon would want, or a devil. You're not somebody belonging to a business family, or you don't look like you come from money.
Looks gonna be deceiving.
With the way you move, you're almost one of them monks.
I think it's less about
kind
who
of-
I am, it's more about who my family is.
He kind of like looks over the pearl. What did you do?
What do you mean, what did I do?
Who did you speak to?
Why
Why are you
I
here?
spoke to anyone.
Kind of looks back over to he looks back over towards Echo. He sent you.
I'm sorry?
Oh,
Sorry, what?
Who? What?
Now,
that backstab. Of course he would send family.
Who? I'm sorry.
you gotta have to be a little more specific. I was simply approached because of who my father was.
Louis, Ricky. Take care of them.
Who?
And
What?
as he says that, he like snaps a finger and he vanishes. As the two bodyguards remain and they draw their blades as they erupt in fire and lightning. And that is where we are leaving off for the week.
Damn. Didn't think that would tip our hands that much.
Just hope Kim can get there in time.
Would Pearl have a moment to look at Echo and say, well, that answered a lot of questions?
Honestly, I was just hoping that we were wrong. That's what I was really hoping for.
But yeah, that's going to do it for us this week. So thank you everyone for tuning in.
See, we always get into more mischief when the captain and the first mate are fighting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, at least we shouldn't be too far from one if we're back down on the docks.
You are back down on the docks, but you are nowhere near where your ship is.
Damn it.
If anything, Shara is closer to the ship, to your ship, because it's in dry dock at the moment.
And she's heading like the opposite direction.
You are in the opposite direction. You are like her and the rest of the group are on two opposite sides of the city.
Oh.
Rule 1, split the party.
I mean, this wasn't a split by choice.
Yeah, this wasn't a split by
shunted,
choice.
And I'm pressing charges.
And you're pressing charges.
That's rich. I love it.
I was
Make sure
magic.
fake an injury. Fake an injury.
Fake whiplash.
I was unwillfully magicked elsewhere.
Now I have this weird kink in my neck that just won't go away. It hurts so bad.
At the very least, maybe I can get a settlement out of the guy.
Maybe. But that will have to wait until next week. But yes, everyone, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. If this is your first time here, this is not the only show that we do.
That was so exciting. We didn't even take a break.
I know.
Yeah, I noticed that. It's like, we didn't take a break. Upcoming this Saturday will be another episode of Withered Wastes, which is a 5th edition quasi post-apocalyptic campaign that I run.
Zoro finally back for this one.
Zoro says that she is available. So
nice.
Unless extenuating circumstances come about and stop us again, we will be back. Then on Monday we will have another episode of Destiny Forged, which is our longest running series, as we are in our 3rd campaign for that one. On Tuesday we will have Tales of the Outer Rim, which is our Star Wars 5th edition game run by Tiltbot. Come back here on Thursday, since we're on alternating Thursday schedules. Next Thursday will be Mass Effect Horizons, which is our Mass Effect 5th edition mod game that is run by Zoro. And then rounding into next Saturday will be Wayward Wanderers, which is a Pathfinder 2 Extinction Curse campaign run by Azerin. Next week is also Extra Life Game Day. So I will be doing something. I have not 224. Geez, I'm not going to punish myself like that. I will have 2 12-hour streams that I'll be running playing games on Friday and Saturday, the 3rd and the 4th of next week, for 12 hours from noon to midnight, raising money for the Lawrence Small Children's Center. If we hit $1,000, there are 2 incentives that are up right now. One, on my channel, I'm going to let people decide what ranked game what ranked mode of a game I have to play through an entire series of. And I already know it's either going to be Overwatch or League of Legends, because people like to punish me. But here, if we hit $1,000, we will be designing some sort of round robin DM.
Can't hear you, Trojan. Cat on keyboard.
Cat on keyboard or mixer?
Your
I'm
voice
sorry.
Disappeared at round robin.
I'm sorry, my cat decided to lay on my mixer and hit the mute button. It will we will be designing a round robin DM campaign to where multiple DMs will be running the same campaign together in short bursts. But yeah, and I don't know what we're gonna do if we hit the $2,000 goal. It's got to be something spectacular, but most definitely something planned for that. Speaking of Extra Life, we also in the near future have the upcoming Battle Royale, the level 20 Battle Royale between a bunch of players and their characters pitted against each other for a winner take all battle where whoever wins will get to work with me on something. But for now, we are going to head on out. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And we will catch you on Saturday for Withered Wastes. That's the show. Until then, have a good one, everyone.